This is going to be a continuance of yesterday's class show that I accidentally deleted. I've had a few of my videos that when I go to my editing platform and it shows me what videos I've got on the go and where they're at. It shows me that it's still in upload state, and so I thought that it was a video from a long time ago, so I accidentally deleted it. And it was a good video too, right? We talked about so many good things. So we're going to talk about it today. We're going to expand a little bit more. There was a few things that I didn't get to discuss yesterday. Our video today will be about feeling that new version of multidimensionality. What does that really mean? What does it feel like? Because this video will be for those that have been on the path for a while, kind of saying things all over again. Those that have been on the path for a while, those that have been focusing on the clearing of whatever comes forward, facing it, integrating the shadow, understanding the 51% of the karma that you've chosen to take responsibility for, to be accountable for your lineage, for your Akash, for all that you are and all that you've been as a celestial source being in human body, in human form. I'm at the park right now. It's so beautiful. I'm in a different location today. My teams told me to come here, and I had a bit of I had a beautiful release because I was just so filled with so much source love and so much source light. So I was very glad that they brought me here. There's so much nature. So there's a really, really beautiful, soft, loving Gaia energy today. We're going to go through similar energies that we did yesterday, understanding what we've been moving through as far as those that have been on the path for a while, releasing as much as possible. The 51% are the lower chakra energies of the lower chakra woundings. And then what does that mean when you've integrated those lower vibrational, we say lower, they're just words, the lower vibrational aspects of the soul. And then as you've done that work, you're allowing yourself to have greater aptitude and capacity. That aptitude is the reaching higher for source, your divine mind, your divine higher self with source. In that union of the higher self is the God mind. You're unifying that marriage with you and source. And then again, your teams and your higher self and your guides are just protecting and supporting all of God's plan, your divine soul blueprint that God has for your destiny for you. And so everything and everyone that is with you, the engagement of your teams, the engagement of your spirit guides, the engagement of your celestial teams, your alien teams, all of those energies that are with you on this ride are with you for the benevolency of your destiny. They're with you to continue the contraction and expansion of who you are as a soul, so that all of your light that you're flowing as source goes to the all aspects of you. Just as the higher aspects of you in all aspects of the realms. Remember, you've got infinite soul aspects. So the higher aspects of you are constantly giving you light, depending on what dimension and what realm they're on, as well as your aspects. Now that you're reaching into a 5D experience, you're going to be offering to the lower aspects of you. Because creation is always a regeneration of renewal and reintegration into source. So there's always going to be that leveling up and then that stepping down, if you will. And that's why unity consciousness is so important to understand. This is the timeline where we release all aspects of separation, because we've integrated all of the alchemy of those soul fragments of separation. And so it is a higher vibrational consciousness. It's a higher vibrational state of being, a way of behaving, a way of understanding who we are, what we exist within, and what's going on within us, which are the 3 questions of ascension and self-evolution. And that's up to everybody to do their own inner work. Everybody's working at a different capacity to hold light, to understand that all is one. Everybody comes with a different set of themes and rules and lineage wounding, Akashic wounding, that keep them in a various kind of a median of vibrational cycling. There are very dense belief systems. There are very stagnant belief systems. There's a lot of people that are obviously wounded that remain in dark patterns and dark cycles. And the only way to break that is to introduce light and then to create a higher entrainment. So what we talked about yesterday in our video was really excitement. I'm going to share a couple of my higher integration experiences just to give you an idea so that you can do this on your own. As we've worked through those lower vibrational 51% of our karma, you're releasing the wounding, the densities that you've held within your chakras, within your fields, Every moment for moment is about your alchemy with you as source, you as source, you with source. And then reintegrating new higher vibrational beliefs of the expansiveness of the all that you are. And anytime that you have a lower vibrating belief system about you and God, that relationship of you and God, that connection with you and God, that's up to each person to go within and do the daily pathwork, as I've said, so that you can start creating that alchemy. The only way for you to have that the feeling, the multidimensional feeling of alchemy, is to do the actual work. So that is by having your connection and your relationship with source, your relationship with spirit. And again, as we've said a million times, it doesn't have anything to do with religion. Religion are just those pockets of school we go into to learn various ways of how we navigate certain versions of beliefs, but it's not really God. God is not a religion. Your spiritual experience as source creator, carrying very many, infinite number of timelines and lifetimes to have the experience that the soul needs. So as the Arcturians showed me, as I was talking with them, the soul can branch off and have whatever experience it wants when it needs it to fulfill a need or to fulfill a vibrational catch point. Thank you, Holy Spirit. A vibrational catch point for the whole of all that it is. If your soul is encompassment of all different forms, different bodies, different experiences at different levels and gradations of the soul's journey, all of those gradations feed the entire soul of itself. So that's why the soul has its ability, because it's infinite with source. It can create a life to have a new experience to fulfill the evolutionary consciousness of that soul. Oversoul and oversoul. I mean, it's incredibly profound and complex, your soul's ability to manifest. So your soul has an ability to manifest a new life in and of itself in however ways it could. I've had a recent download from the Arcturians, and there's various ways that a soul can create a new version of life. It can have a walk-in because it's very complex. Walk-ins are an experience of a soul honoring a new version of life, and those can be experienced and known as walk-ins. And there's not a lot of information about walk-ins, and they're ways that a soul can have an experience that it needs to satisfy the soul journey of all that the soul wants to experience, and those can be experienced by what's called walk-ins. And that, again, there's a lot of prerequisites, and only source creator and the teams and the oversoul determine about that soul walk-in. So the soul is very, very expansive in and of itself. For instance, my soul has many aspects in the Pleiades. It has many aspects in Sirius, many aspects in the Arcturus, many aspects in Orion, many aspects in Lyra. So my soul is all throughout the multiverse. There's various aspects of me in a multiverse that we don't have names for. So all that I am is an expansive as I'm releasing the continuance of now stepping up into higher vibrational integrations, because my 51% of karma is cleared. So now I'm reaching into higher vibrational aspects of who I am. I get to now create the understanding and the knowing of what these higher multidimensional integrations are. So I'm learning how, and it's very mind-boggling. So if the soul wanted to have a new experience to add to the whole soul's journey, the whole soul's experience, this is your whole soul's experience. So if the soul wanted to have a new vibrational thread experience, that the oversoul and the councils that it belongs to, based on its ever-changing soul blueprint. Remember, your soul blueprint is an ever-changing document with you and God. And again, it is within the Akash, and the Akash is within it. We're going to talk quickly about the Akash too, because there's a lot of misguidance and misunderstandings about the Akash. And in that soul's need to create that version of life experience, of source experience, the 3 E's equals the 4th E, which is evolution, that soul can then create an arm or a branch or a spark of light that will manifest into what that soul needs. And again, it's only just one example. A walk-in is an experience of that. So what they've given me an example, and again, walk-ins, I just love the greens. Look at how gorgeous they are. Just kind of matching my eyes. It's a beautiful, beautiful park. What they gave me an example of, and again, it's only an example because it's so complex, and most people are not at that level of consciousness understanding to to allow their minds to be higher consciousness, to know that the soul can and do anything when it's aligned with source and the higher mind. A version of what they've given me is, there are many on our planet, and again, this is aligned through the highest councils, through the highest versions of Creator. And it's done through the Oversoul and through the Oversoul of Oversouls. Very high vibrational beings, very high vibrational experiences. And it's done through Source Creator and the soul itself. If the soul wanted a soul experience, if we're talking about a walk-in, the soul, and this is just one example, of course, it's not the entirety of what this can be, because the soul can do whatever the soul wants to have the experience that the soul needs to manifest a successful, destined blueprint with God, with Source Creator, as we talked about yesterday in our video that got deleted. Your marriage with Source can do anything that it will as the infinite of Source. And again, as your aptitude and your capacity to carry light, your aptitude to reach for higher consciousness, your aptitude to reach for the highest versions of you, there's anything that is possible. One version and one example of a walk-in, there are many on the planet that have been giving their power away and degrading their spiritual bodies, their vessels, to entities and lower vibrational demons and lower vibrational beings and deities. Through these underground processes, through these secret societies, the interactions and how their lifestyles are, they innately and inadvertently, they don't understand they're doing it. And we've talked about many of these experiences on our videos, because people have to understand Source Creator is all that is, positive, neutral, and negative. How you operate as a source vessel being, your body is source, your cells are source, your matter is source. How to manifest in source life force, you don't need anything outside of you. Eventually we will be breatharian, in which that once we've learned how to manifest all that we are and all that we need through source, we don't need the nourishment of food to sustain our bodies. Our bodies are sustained through our life force. Our life force is everything. Our life force helps us manifest instant healing. It manifests manifestations. Our life force keeps the physical body in and of itself. Our spirit manifests and keeps the body in working order, if you will. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And allowing ourselves to be the inner as opposed to what we've been trained to. We're going to go through that because we talked about that yesterday. How a 3D version of a being, a species of consciousness, has been taught, shown, and told how to operate in life has been a very outer focused experience. 5D is not going to be that. 5D is going to be connection with the heavens as above, so below, as within, so without. That's how we're going to be manifesting the highest level of intelligence. We are in alignment with the higher self. We are in alignment with the God mind. We are in alignment with all that we are as higher vibrational beings. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And the nourishment of our spirit is that whole encompassment of how, thank you, Holy Spirit, is how you can create versions of the new versions of you that are divine and the higher self aligned. Alignment is your connection and your relationship with Source. That is alignment. If you're focused on everything outside of you, like many of the people that have been attacking me, many of these secret societies and these secret groups, they're testing me to see if I say I am who I say I am. They've been trying to steal from me, doppelganger pages. All of their motives and all of their agendas are very low vibrational operating patterns. They're very low vibrational dark beings. And they've been giving their power away to these deities and whether it's Lucifer or Satan or their individual cult or whatever it is that they do, they're giving their powers away, because everything that they do in those operating experiences is giving their power away to outer. They've given that sense of self, they've given that energy, that direction, and that focus, which is how you create reality. They've given it to everything that's outside of them. That's giving their power away. And it's a misunderstanding and utter misguidance if they don't understand creational reality, the equations of the reality, universal laws. And I said yesterday in my video, I'll say it again. There's a really great video that Bashar, channeled through Daryl Anka, did many years ago. I think it's about 7 years ago they're showing me. And it's called Bashar's Universal Laws. That's a really great video to go to write down. I think he gives 7. way back in the emerald tablets, there's 12. I just focus on the 2 because if you're doing the first 2, everything else falls into place. So just know that the universal laws from here on out is what your compass point is. And again, your compass point is your alignment with source, the divine mother and father within the center of you right here. That's your divine sacred heart. That is all that you're meant to focus on. There should be, at this point in the game, there should be, and we said yesterday, as some really discerning points, anybody and anything that you join, anything that you go to, any focus on the outer is misalignment. So just understand that. Everybody, the energies that I've come from and all the 3D cycles, all my karmic cycles, all of my healing of the 51% of karma has been healed, and I've closed out all my 3D, you know, timelines and stories. So I'm really happy about that. That's why I'm in these all new energies. And I've integrated the new higher vibrations. So that's why I wanted to come and do this video. I was so excited to have that channel with God yesterday. And we're doing more God channeling today because I'm channeling higher and higher versions of spirit because they're higher versions of me. It's the connection with me because the densities have been alchemized and cleared. And so in that, the secret societies and the secret cults and the secret Masonic groups, their versions of the themes and the core themes of their foundations are about power. And that's how they establish themselves, is their levels of degrees and levels of this and levels of that. And it doesn't matter what it's called, and the minutia and the rules and the whatever the attunements are that they negotiate within, it's all about the power they have within their circle. And it's absolutely going to be their own demise, because anything that you do within the infinity that you're giving power away, if you draw it out, it will eventuate in a demise of that self, the inner as the outer. So that's where we have to understand creational reality. You have to understand universal laws. You don't have to, it's always free will. Those that are going through really heavy karma, those that will be pulled out through the corruption of the secret societies, and what many, I'm not saying all, what many of the secret societies have been used for, they've been used as targeting rings for the elite to do what the elite want to do in their agendas, of the elite agendas. And there's infinite number of agendas that these elite groups and financiers have. And so some of the ones that were targeting me were financing to keep certain light workers and certain beings that were known to the governments, like myself. I'm a hybrid, I'm an ultra human. And I don't, how I say ultra human is my exaltation of who I am as a being of many multidimensional DNA aspects that I was born to be the last messenger, if you will, of the Christ consciousness of Metatronic light, so that I'm here to assist humanity, to enhance the human spirited connection, which is what always was meant to be through every master that's ever touched down on earth. Humanity has wrapped religions around the masters that have come here, whether it be Kuan Yin, whether it be Jesus, whether it be Buddha, it doesn't matter. But humanity has tended to wrap religions around these masters, and that was never really the purpose. The purpose of a master is to come and enhance and inspire unity consciousness within any collective. Wherever that master is born, the collective of its social experiences, because it likes humanity as a species, if you will. We're thinking about scientific, like lab work, if you will, petri dishes, and how people understand themselves in their environment and in their social setting. Every social setting has its makeup of lineage and social experiences that it learns from. If we take a 3D experience, how a 3D being at its youngest version of itself learns is usually through the observation and reflection. The child sits in the home and learns from observing, learns from what it's told and taught and shown. Well, that's the 3D systematic approach that we've all been growing up in it for thousands of years. That's what it's been. These systems are very discriminatory, very separative, because that's what we've come for. This is the planet of reintegration into unity consciousness, into oneness. We wanted to see how far out we could get from source creator, that unity experience of oneness. In the aspects of the soul's journey, your soul's experience of any realm in any way, you have all bodies, all forms, all races, all colors. You are an insectoid, you're an Arcturian, you're a Syrian, you're part of cetaceans. I just love these gorgeous greens. Every aspect of life that you are, that you can take on as a soul, you do and you are. You have infinite soul lifetimes here on earth where you've been all forms. You've been male, female, you've been all religions, you've been all aspects. So that's where we're really getting away from understanding where you've come from a 3D perspective and how you can level up into a higher intelligence of integration, because that allows you to let go of a lot of densities that you've held, of belief systems, perspectives that are very, very separative, very, very discriminatory. And everybody on the planet, no matter who you are, and no matter how enlightened you think you are, um, you have to work on that divine feminine energy and the divine masculine energy until you're 100% androgynous in the equality and the equilibrium of being fully. That's when you'll be fully 5D. Your Merkaba will be activated to the point where you can move about into a galactic bedding, if you will. Again, everything is gradation of energy. Depends your consciousness level, depends on your refinement with source. When you're traveling intergalactically, it is all about your refinement with source. Your bodies, what I teach on the Pleiades at the youngest of ages is I teach the children how to balance their bodies, because it's directly related. Their chakra systems and their fields, everything multidimensionally, their cells, their heart, everything, their DNA everything is multidimensional. Therefore, it must be balanced before they leave their planet. Otherwise, they create great imbalances to wherever they go. So in the Pleiades star system, it's very important for all children to understand the absolute and need for balance and harmony. It's a very, very core key that's taught as soon as the children are born. They're taught that inner experience. The children right from birth are taught inner and outer as above and so below. They're never taught by books, if you will, from the outer and watch the parents and learn by the pastors in the churches and all those things. They're not taught by any of that. They're taught from their inner higher self as soon as they're able to walk, learn, and speak. And so that's what we're introducing here on Earth for 5D. The versions of how, so if you want to do your Ascension path work, which I suggest all do, so that you can become better connected and better in relationship with spirit, your higher self. Your higher self is the connection of the highest version of you as God. That higher self always remains on the other side of the veil, if you will, and it has access to all versions of all aspects of you. It has every aspect of your Akashic record, has every aspect of your forms, every aspect of any divine feminine or male form you've had, any insectide form that you've had. Doesn't matter what form you've taken, that higher self has that record. So the more aligned that you are with your higher self, that is your only compass. It's always within you. That's why we said yesterday, and the video got deleted. It was a really good video. As we said, that this entering this new stage of ascension, we're going to give you these new ascension symptoms that you're going to feel, because we've just gone into a new series of grids, a new series of upgrades to the grids. Every time the grids get upgraded, the collective who's ready, because again, every single person on this planet is at a different stage and phase of their ascension. They're at a different stage and phase of activating their DNA. Everybody has different access points to their DNA depending on how their relationship, or again, the relationship and connection they have, their DNA could be activated at a different level. We always talk about the DNA kind of like thermometer measurement. It's the Jacob's ladder. And that Jacob's ladder within your DNA, everybody's at a different unique point of activation point. The more karma that you clear and the more integration that you do, the more alchemy that you do within yourself and those trigger points and those soul fragment aspects, the shadow, if you will, the more integration you do, the more that you level up on your DNA activation. And the more DNA activation you have, the more instantaneous flowing, more pure, refined energy that you have sourced to flow through you. That's why when people are around me, when I have my sessions, when I have my classes, I give a lot of source energy, because I'm a conduit. I'm a vessel for source light. So people are healed just by being in my space. Some people get very triggered because I have a lot of DNA celestial codes, which we're going to talk about today, is the celestial cosmic integration. That is in and of itself understanding how we learned and how we were taught and told and shown, which was a very outer experience. It was a lot of perspectives, a lot of beliefs, a lot of discriminations, a lot of separations pushed on us at the various earliest of ages. You chose to come in that form. You chose to take on a body. You chose to take on your soul blueprint with certain divine masculine woundings and divine feminine woundings. And that was for you to clear for your entire lineage. All of those experiences encompassment and equals you at 51%. So that 51% is to everybody. Everybody is responsible for clearing that 51% of karma. And again, if you don't choose to do that, and if you choose to stay stuck within your beliefs and your limiting beliefs, thank you, Holy Spirit, about the expansiveness of source, that's where you will remain. So again, we talked about the ways that we learn when we were 3D, and the various things that were constantly projected at us in school systems, in social society, dogma, and wherever you were brought up in, there's a lot of separatism and discriminations that you just chose to take on because nobody told you different. Now you're looking at the 5D version. Whatever version of Earth that you're on, you get to choose. If you're going to be on, as we've said, that separative, lower vibrational, succubus, taking, thieving, stealing, copying, all of those things that have been versions and stories that were of my timelines from different universes, from different planets, from different lineages, you know, the entitlement factor and the domination and the control factor of a woman and of divine feminine were really crazy. You know, to think that anybody had voice over my life and anybody had say over my life was just insane. And to even talk about it and put it into words, it's like, are we serious? Is this how people really behave? But there are people in those belief systems that because you're in a community with somebody, that they have rights over your life. And there was zero due diligence done in any of my 10 years that I've been moving into my own independence and estranged from my ex for about 8 years and moving through divorce and the various things that a woman has to kind of fight for just to have her own voice. And there was a whole community that was targeting me to make me look and seem and appear in their false narratives so they can walk away with money, and they can walk away with their false narratives, and they can walk away with continuing to be corrupt. And that's what those secret societies, many of them, have been used for. The secret societies have been used and financed by very elite, well-established, you know, so-called leaders. In any profession, in all professions, in all aspects of our society. And there were very specific experimental and experiential programs for people like myself, for the beings like myself, that they knew who I was right from my birth. And I am an ultra human. I do have a lot of celestial DNA. I am brought here as a messenger for Source Creator, for the Galactic Federations, for the councils and the systems of light. Thank you, Holy Spirit, to help humanity enhance who we are. I come with a multi-dimensional, multiverse vibrational aspects of connecting higher vibrational wisdoms and intelligences. And all that I've done since I've been here is just offer unconditional healing and help. But it's been attacked by those that don't want humanity to awaken, those that don't want their corruption rings to be seen and known, because these people are so-called so worried about their reputation. But again, they don't understand creational reality. They don't understand creational laws. They're very, very misguided on the energy rules or the religious, I don't know what they call it. Whatever they're going by, they're going to create their own demise, because what they're going by are false and against and disrespect and disregard of the universal laws, and they will create their own demise, which is what I've taught and I've told. Everybody's been given warnings. Again, which earth are you going to be on? Are you going to be on the Epstein-like earth? If you so choose, just know that you will create your own demise, and there will be an extinction of species, because you cannot expand an evolution of your species if there is not balance. That's why we have universal laws. The universal laws for the multiverse are very keen, and we're going to talk about some really cool things that the higher vibrational councils do to assist in the balancing of like we'll say this galaxy. We'll just keep it on this galaxy because, as we say, everything is micro macro. Remember, everything is micro macro. This is why we have to break beyond the 3D, very low vibrational energies. Everything is micro macro. If this is a galaxy and all the planets in this galaxy, this is a micro macro, this is actually you and God in the center, and this is your soul. But we're saying if this was a galaxy, this one part of space was very dense because there were very controlled, dominating systems, and there was very little light that was flowing through that planet and that star system. There would be special beings, high vibrational beings, 9th dimensional and higher, that go to that. Well, thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Galactic. Thank you, Holy Ashtar. So Ashtar is saying 7th dimensional and higher are also working with this. They are very highly specialized beings, and they go in light ships and councils, and they add light and different energies to that space, that sector of space, if you will. I work with the Arcturians in this on higher councils. It is no different between any vibrational being. Those of us that have come with a higher vibrational aptitude, with a higher vibrational capacity, we come with certain coding. As I talked about yesterday in my video, many of my clients that I have assisted in healing are earth angels. And many of the woundings that they had to go through, they carried, different issues and problems with their bodies because they were in constant resistance of who they were within themselves as spirit. and then being in a body. And it's a very confusing experience for someone like myself that's hybrid or crystal or indigo or an earth angel. And we create that manifestation of a disease or a dichotomy within our body because of that, that resistance of who we are as spirit. And it's hard to be in a physical body, if you will, in such a dense experience when everybody is the people that you are around, that you're meant to activate and you're meant to bring light to and you're meant to bring new perspectives to help awaken them, but they continually to live in the low vibrational experiences of hate and low vibrational experiences of people that do, you know, silly comments to you know, just trigger you. So just know that I said this yesterday on my video. Everybody that comes into my videos, everybody that comes into my chat rooms from here on out, they are being watched by authorities. Thank you, Holy Spirit. There's many beings that are supporting me to move forward for my healing potentials and my leadership for Earth. I'm a multiverse healer. I carry source energy, and I'm here to create new Earth systems with the divine plan with Holy Mother Father. So everybody that creates negative, derogatory comments on my chat line, they are watching, and all your IPs, addresses are being shown and looked at. So just know that. So just know that those people that continually attack and berate my channel, continually stalk and follow me and attack me, every IP address is being watched. All the people from the past, they're being watched. The authorities are watching everybody. Everybody's IP addresses are being tracked. So just know that. Yesterday I had a moderator on, so it was a little bit easier. I'm not really going to pay attention to the comments. So my intention is to create a higher vibrational audience. My audience is for those that are pure of intention for New Earth and unity consciousness. I'm not here to argue about anybody's low vibrational beliefs, about what they choose to believe in. The people that have been attacking me are those doppelgangers. They create AI generated pages that try and copy my work. They get paid off it while I get nothing, and they suppress and veil my platform. That's just a part of the elite agendas and the human testing agendas that were attacking me for many, many years throughout my whole life, doing different spell work and different human testing, mental, emotional, spiritual abuse, all of the things that had occurred. So it's just the way that light workers have had to kind of reclaim ourselves and reclaim our light. And that's what I teach. I teach how to move through such densities of cult, you know, negative groupthink, kind of dogmatic traumas, cult traumas, secret society traumas, because again, they're very misguided on what they've been taught and told and who's teaching these groups and select energy secret sects, secret Masonic groups. Their energies, I've seen a couple of videos just for a few minutes. I don't go into the energies. I just don't like the energies. They're very, very, ugh. It's just how the energy feels. It's very icky. They just give their energy away. They give their soul away. They give their spirit away. So this is what we were talking about, walk-ins. It kind of goes in back. When you're in those secret societies and dogmatic experience or cults and you give your energy away and you're praying to different deities to get things, you're starting from a very wounded space, because everything that you need and everything that you could ever want and everything you can achieve and to feel is a sense of self. Why people do that is because they have no sense of self. They pray to a deity to get power. They pray to a deity to get a manifestation. They pray to do sexual, you know, sex work and sex spell work and that kind of things for love spells and all that kind of stuff, is because you don't have a sense of self. And we've talked about this for many, many. So I just want to talk about the different variations of how people learn in different energies, where their energy patterns are, where they're stuck at not evolving. Going within and doing that work is so important. That self-love, self-care. Why do you do what you do? Who are you? What do you exist with and what exists in you? That's doing the path work. Doing, you know, love spells is not going to heal that wound. Doing a sacrifice to take somebody else's life and pay a practitioner to do death work on somebody isn't going to heal that wound, and that karma is going to come back, especially as we're in 5D gates. We're in the 5D gates now, and everybody that has been doing secret society work, as we talked about yesterday, every reader, healer, teacher, anybody that's doing energy work and doing spells and all, it doesn't matter what you practice and what you do. There are universal laws that trump all, and that's what everybody's being engaged with. So again, look up that Bashar video, Bashar's Universal Laws. That's a really good one. I think he goes into 7 of them. I only focus on 2 because that's all we really need. You're meant to just focus within, and that's the difference between a 3D learning and higher vibrational integration. 3D learning, and you do, you know, as you're clearing away the 51% karma, you do get higher and higher vibrational energies within your all that you are as a multidimensional being, your chakras, your fields, your DNA, all that you are. Your DNA is activated as a synergistic complement with Source, with God, and your teams and your higher self. Nothing outside of you can activate other than the light and the energies that are in the environment, I guess. So yesterday we talked about, if you look at the 3D, if you put a circle and a little petri dish and you say, this is 3D, this is how we were taught, told, and shown. We went to school, they told us how to learn, they told us how to learn, what books to learn, what books to read. We were told all these things. The churches show us, the churches tell us, and again, a lot of the people in those systems are corrupt because they're not healed, they're not balanced, and why the underground was created. And we've talked about that in other videos. The healing and the misguidance of divine masculine. Very few teachings throughout our entire history about divine feminine, divine masculine energies, as each person has. Each person is responsible for learning, healing, accepting the divine feminine masculine energies within themselves. Every person comes with the duality of wounding, the duality of aspects of gifts, talents, and skills that are both divine feminine, masculine. And none will go further into 5D unless you get that, right? And a lot of these secret underground societies, they don't know anything about, they don't practice anything. That's why it's a very low vibration, and they will never ascend into higher vibrational skills, gifts, and talents. That's why we said yesterday, we talked about destiny and swapping the destiny and all that goes into those, again, low vibrational experiences. People thinking that they can swap destinies and things like that and go into people's birth records and Akashic records. There's a lot of misguidance because they're operating from very, very low vibrational experiences. And we're offering to get beyond what you've been taught and told about religion. There are infinite aspects of exploration of spirit and source. Source is all creation. Source is breath. Source is nature. Source are the animals. Source is every person walking on this planet. What each person comes with in the package that they are, the beliefs, the perspectives, the woundings, the divine feminine masculine energies, is that 51% that everybody is responsible for taking ownership of and commandmentship of to integrate and alchemize. Every moment is alchemy if you so choose. Are you aware of it? What's going on within you? It's not a matter of picking a side, all is one. So that's, again, your higher vibrational consciousness is unity, consciousness is oneness. There will be those experiences that will be shifting out. There will be shifting out. Anybody that has been blocking, as Spirit showed me, anybody that has been blocking my path, my destiny, and any other light worker, those blocks and those hurdles will be removed. The light workers have our rights. All light workers, we have our rights as a hybrid, as a crystalline child. I'm a voice for many of the hybrids, many of those angels walking on earth, that I'm a part of helping heal those light workers and healers, because there's been so much abuse and so many attacks, because the secret societies have been playing and being financed by very elite people. They have the resources, they have the people. And so it's been like a walking up a endless mountain for the light workers just to come and do what we're born to do. We're born to transmute energies. And as I said yesterday, there's very few, they think that they want my gifts and skills, and they think that they want this title of being a conduit. But most of them, because they have no sense of self, they're insecure, they're not knowing who they are. Again, it's that low vibrational experience of wanting that outer focus. There's so much of that outer focus that they have no idea who they are, and they're missing the point. And our videos have all said the same thing. It's all about your work within. And they couldn't be me for a day. They wouldn't. I had these talk with the Spirit and Source all the time. You know, like, why was it necessary that I had to go through so many cycles of, you know, going to the deep darks underground? I can walk on all realms. I've mastered the lower realm. So I know about all the darknesses and the demons, and none of that scares me. It doesn't scare me. I see inside and out of all the secret societies. I see exactly what they do. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I walk on all realms, so it's not, that's why those spell work doesn't work. It worked before I knew what black magic was. I didn't have any idea what black magic was. I had to go into the psychosis of it. That's how I know how to heal it. I know how to heal the demon. I know how to heal the darkness and the shadow. You got to transmute it. So I walk on all realms. It's not a big deal. It's all God. It's all source. Just depends on what energy you want. Those that are operating constantly out of their shadow, that are taking and stealing and wanting power over others, that's shadow. They can talk. A lot of these people talk as if they're light workers. They just copy what I say. They pilfer my videos. Yesterday when I uploaded my videos, when I clicked off on the video, when I clicked that little off button, it was 355 viewers that were watching. By the time I uploaded it, it was 255, 251 exactly. So where did that other 100 videos go? Where did the 100 viewers go? There's been so much fuck shit with my accounts and with my platforms. It's been incredible. How I'm here is only because of God. I am the last messenger for humanity. You can either be on that Epstein-like earth where the species will go extinct, because you cannot evolve a species if there's no balance. It has nothing to do with religion. Anybody that thinks they are living through their religion, you will not be in an ascension experience. You won't be. Your religion will not ascend you. It won't. Your religion doesn't talk about chakras. Your religion doesn't talk about your multidimensional fields. Your religion doesn't talk about Metatronic light. Your religion doesn't talk about your Merkaba and how to work within it. Your religion doesn't talk about your higher self. Your religion has no connection with source. Transcend what you have been taught, told, and shown. That's 3D. It's all your choice. It's all your, but there's no more open gates. I am the last messenger. That's why it was really pivotal for these people to try and veil me. And it's not a battle of devil and God. God is all things. God is Satan. God is Lucifer. God is, as I said yesterday, Lucifer is just a lesson. Lucifer is not an equal God to God. Everybody is so misguided. There's so much misguidance on this planet because everybody wants, that's how we've been brought. That's how the external entrains us. They entrain us to pit something against each other. You know, in all of my experiences, the experience was to put me in competition with these lower vibrational false spiritualists that were just fake light workers, and pit me against them to compete, because that's how they get your energy. I don't compete. Spirituality is not a competition. So you're kind of playing by yourself. I don't compete for partners or men or attention. Never have. I don't care. I'm not competing. Who are you? You're not worth competing. Like, you're totally not in the same ballpark. You're not in the same game. That's, again, low vibration, no sense of self. If you have to compete, you have no sense of self. If you have to prove, you have no sense of self. Jesus didn't compete for anything. Buddha doesn't compete. Spirituality is not a competition. There is no religion better than another. Get out of the religion box. And that's going to trigger a lot of people, because people don't want to look at who they are outside of the religion. They hide behind the Bible. They hide behind what they know. That is not God. That's not knowing God. It isn't. And as I said in my last video, put me in any church, in any stand, on anything. And it's not about who knows the Bible more. That doesn't make you godly. What makes you godly is your ability to flow source light. Because you've cleared the density, you've cleared the wounding, you've accepted your shadow. If you can't accept your shadow, and if you're working in you're better than another, and you're working in those lower vibrational, dogmatic, misogynistic experiences, you're not willing to look at your divine feminine energies. If you're not flowing vibrational source light, and your fingers aren't vibrating with source light, and your chakras aren't lit up by source light, you don't know God. It's that simple. Memorize the Bible all you want. That doesn't make you understand God. God is the flowers. God are the insects. God are the trees. And there's a vibration in it all. There is a story in it all. And why conduits have been trained and prepared for eons to come and speak of such as Jesus was. Jesus was a conduit. He could speak the Spirit of God. He didn't need a church. And he was discriminated against. That's why he was crucified. Because he spoke of a God that was greater than the brick and mortar. It was greater than whatever the text that they were reading from. Jesus was the alchemy of God. Jesus was walking in any space and alchemizing the energy. He was very, very balanced with divine feminine, masculine energies. He would not have created miracles without that balance. He was operating from a very high frequency of his DNA. His DNA was activated. If you're not activating your DNA, how do you activate your DNA? By alchemizing the density, your 51% of karma. Your DNA doesn't get activated if you're not working on those energies of density. And that's what all the secret societies are. They're very low vibrational experiences. Their DNAs won't be activated. because they're not flowing light through any part of their body or their fields. If they're not flowing light through their fields, if they're not flowing light through their chakras, if they're not working in connection and relationship with spirit, if they're not working in that union with God, with light, their chakras will be shut down and they will not flow light. They will not have any powers over spirit, with spirit. Anything that they think they're getting from another, sacrifice or spell work or voodoo or jar work, and all the things that they do to hit on people to think they have power, they are making illusions for themselves and they will be their own demise. Every secret society will be turned on its head because they don't operate within universal laws. Period, point blank. And you can't do enough spells to make light workers go away. We're not going away. We have our rights to live our lives. The light will continue. And everybody that is derogatory on every one of my platforms, the authorities and the police are watching. Every IP address, every person that stalks my account, every person that sends, whatever they send, everybody is being watched because God has given the spiritual court rulings. Everything has come down. I have my right to fully be who I'm meant to be, and I won't be held back. Everything that's been fucked with for my life has to be returned. The files, the documents, falsifications, and the stories and the falsities, it all has to be made right. I am the last chance for humanity as a messenger to open into and to step into eternal life. Knowing Source Creator, living as Source Creator, living as an eternal being with Spirit and Source and God. Alchemizing and integrating what you've known to be about religions and lower vibrational 3D learning experiences and transcending it and stepping into a 5D, higher intelligent, higher intellect learning system. And that learning system is directly aligned with your higher self, your light. All is light. We don't need to learn through books anymore. That's just a tool. We're learning from our higher alignment of being Source. That is the highest version of who we are. And you do have to alchemize the 51%. So nothing is missed. No one is missed. Everyone will be receiving karma if you're not aligning with the 51% of who you are and what you've been here to create and manifest and alchemize for your lineage. And some of them are very steeped in discrimination for divine feminine. And so everybody has to alchemize and work with every day. What are my energies? What are my thoughts and my beliefs about divine feminine? Why can't a divine feminine be lifted to a global collective level as being a divine healer and a divine messenger for Source? Again, it's all outside transcending all religion. I offer Source Creator, higher vibrational multiverse wisdoms. We are light beings of Metatron. We are light beings of Christ consciousness. Has nothing to do with any religion at all. Never did, never will. We are 5D vibrational light beings, and we can ascend into eternal life. I offer those teachings. I offer the sacred path of ascension. Nobody teaches what I teach. I teach it because that's God's destiny for me. Anybody that copies it, they're not conduits, they're very low vibrational. All they do is copy. They're AI generated accounts, they're AI generated platforms. They've been stealing from me for a very long time, and every single one of those will be seen in court, and I will sue every one of them. I deserve my blessings. I deserve to live the life that I've come to live. Nobody can be me. They wouldn't want to be me. I said to Spirit, I said, why is it that I have to go through all it? Like, why do I have to keep, transmuting the lower realms? And, I've been to the lower realms so many times because no other light worker wants to do it. No other light worker wants to do what I do. It's a very complex job. I can alchemize anything. I can read any density. I can read any dense pocket of work environment, group environment, sect environment. I can read that energy, and then I can help alchemize it, and I can help show people how to heal. So I don't deserve to be constantly attacked just because there's low vibrational people that don't give a crap about life. They don't give a crap about universal laws. All they care about is taking and stealing. Okay, well, you'll be on Epstein Earth. You're now being watched. You're now going to be, kept safely away from me. You're not going to touch my chakras or my Akashic records or my DNA or my light. You're going to be moved away. There will be no more blockages in my life. I have my rights, and I will be peaceful. I will be deserving to receive, and I will have love and acceptance and all of those things that a great leader of light is meant to experience and have. That's my destiny, and everybody's been fucking with it for over 10 years. Nobody had any ounce of right. Discrimination on so many levels, and I will sue everybody involved. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And God will make sure that the highest names in the highest of court, every single person has been getting karma after karma after karma, and it won't stop. The karma will not stop until everything is made right. Because I'm one divine feminine over 3,000 years, and my voice stands for every woman that's been abused, killed, knocked off, has been told and defamed and put in false narratives about being crazy because they want to strangle her finances, because of the misogynistic stories, being attacked daily by spell work and root work by witches and people that want to suffocate and harvest off of them. And when you say no, you get attacked and you get bombarded. So there's a lot of discrimination and a lot of targeting that goes on, and it goes on every hour. And it's been going on in the entertainment field. It's all coming out now. All of the underground ways that secret societies have been that financing edge for all of the elites to run their programs to maintain control and dominance in certain areas of humanity's supposed destiny to evolve. The light will continue. The light's not going to stop. There's going to be more and more light workers every day. We have DNA that's being activated every day. And so again, the more in commandmentship of you are of your multidimensional systems, again, releasing all those beliefs and those woundings and those triggers and those energies that you have, those woundings that you have, those, deep soul woundings for the divine feminine, divine masculine experiences that you've taken on, and going in to do that path work, which is what I teach, how to do that path work so that you can understand what alchemy is all about, so that you can be in full alignment of your higher self. And then in 5D experiences, you can traverse into intergalactic space. You can use your Merkaba for intergalactic travel, but you have to be fully balanced in your chakras. You have to be fully balanced in your divine feminine masculine energies. So that can't occur until that's done first. Again, as we said earlier, we gave that analogy that these people that want things for what they want, but they're not understanding who they are, they don't have any sense of self. They want all these things without doing the work. They want that big shiny office in the top of the tower and with a big shiny door and a big shiny glass. That's the devil temptation, right? It's all shiny and gold with a big name and its big title and clout chasing and greed and envy. And they want all of those things. It's just to feed the ego. That's just feeding the ego. And they get in the office, okay, so now you got to do the work. So they just sit at the office saying, well, I got all this stuff. I had a few people sacrifice, but now I got to sit at the desk. I got to do the work. So it's all feeding the ego, and that's that side of the infinity. When you understand energy, when you understand creational reality, those that are not aligned with their higher self and they're not in union and connection with the higher self, everything that they do feeds the ego, and that will be self-defeating, and that will be their own demise. Whether they think they're doing a sacrifice to get that power, they think they're doing spell work to get power, they think they're going to go into the Akash and take someone's destiny, it is all gross negligence. It's abuse. Everybody will be sent immediate karma. They don't understand creational reality. They're going against universal laws. Every single one of them will create demise after demise after demise. And so just everything is creational reality. They're all vibrational laws. And so yesterday we talked about, again, the 3D version of how you learn, how you were taught, told, and shown. And 5D version is, again, now that most of those, this video today is for those that have been on the path for a while. Those that are not on the path, that come on and just want to put crazy comments on, your IPs are being watched and the authorities are watching you, and all of your comments are being watched and being sent to the people in the authorities. And so this video is for those that are on the path of ascension, those that are intending for healing. You're on the path of unity consciousness. You're on the path of new earth. New earth is unity consciousness. That's integrating all of the 51% that we've been talking about, and it does include the divine feminine, divine masculine energies. You cannot move into ascension without having all of your energies balanced. And there's nowhere in religion, there's nowhere in your education, there's nowhere in the social societies that teach you about your multidimensionality. So today we're going to talk about multidimensionality. There is a diverse celestial frequency every phase of ascension. Remember, everybody has a unique phase of ascension based on their temperament and their pacing. And their temperament and their pacing, again, is on that aptitude and capacity. Are you carrying light? Are you working with light? Or are you remaining in stuck low vibrational patterns? Because you've given so much of your soul away, so much of your spirit away, that there is no sense of self anymore. And your sense of self is completely deconstructed and it's surrendered to a lower entity. A lot of that is from the underground behaviors and lifestyles of praying to deities, of giving your power to deities, and you lose that sense of self. You've given your power completely away. That is when the bodies can experience entity attachment. That's when the bodies can experience disease. That's when the bodies can manifest instantaneous death, manifest car accidents, because there is no spirit or soul in them. And the higher self alignment guides you in and around any of those experiences. The higher self helps you heal diseases and helps you know how to release an entity attachment, helps you release lower vibrational triggers or lower vibrational attachments. All of those things you have to learn through understanding energy. None of the secret societies understand that. They don't know that. They're not taught on that. All they care about is getting and taking. And it's all about money and greed because they're feeding ego. Again, when you're aligned with spirit, you're feeding spirit. Again, as we said, in 5D, many will become breatharian. We don't need food to sustain ourselves because we're completely aligned with spirit. Spirit brings us youthfulness. We're not going to be aging. We're going to be creating the healing of a disease overnight because we're 100% in harmony and alchemy with Source. Source renews our body. That's why it's called eternal life. That's what Jesus taught. Jesus taught the ability to be multidimensionally in Source alignment. Your Source alignment, your soul is your creative genius with Source. You're meant to be the highest version of you, creative genius with Source, through the activations of your DNA, through the activations of your field, through the activations of all that you are as a being of light. In that, they offer you the gifts, the talents, and the skills of all that you are as a soul. And that's why you can pick up piano very easily, or do creative dance, or understand higher vibrational knowledges and wisdoms. Like I have a 7th dimensional version on the Pleiades of myself that's a doctor. So I can bring those alignments down and I can offer them to Earth. It is all about alignment. And what is alignment? It's connection and relationship. Your connection and relationship with spirit. There's spirit in the trees, there's spirit in the air, there's spirit in the omnipresence. It's a breathing and alive experience. As we said yesterday in our video, many of the scholars of today, Greg Braden, Cryon, they talk about what is consciousness. Consciousness is the essence and the omnipresence of all that is Source. It's alive, it's knowing, it's breathing. That's why we said when there's a sector of space that is very separative and it's not moving in light, there's not a light getting through there, there are beings that go to that sector of space and they bring light there. That is the knowingness that God consciousness in that sector of space was sending pulsations that yes, we need light here. There's no evolution happening here. That was the red alert that was sent out eons ago for Earth because there was so much dogmatic control and dominance and separation to the point where, yes, there was a red flag, there could be extinction. If we don't get these balances, if we don't bring our planet back in balance, there is going to be that Epstein-like Earth will be the extinction. Because there is refusal to accept and connect and have a relationship with light. There's a lot of people on our planet that give power away. That power is your life source. Your creational reality and how you manifest anything is your intention, your focus, and your direction of your life force. Do you connect daily with your life force? Do you connect daily with the life force of all that is? Light begets light. The bedding that we sit within right now is a higher vibrational light quotient than it was a year ago, than it was last week. So working with that higher light quotient, you become a higher version of you, as we said yesterday. You're becoming more highly activated. Again, depending on your pace and your temperament, where you're at right now in your vibrational clearing and those transmutation of your alchemy, the transmutation of your karma, the more that you've worked on that, the greater capacity of light that you can hold, the greater experiences multidimensionally that you can have. So as you've cleared away that 51%, you've cleared away the lower vibrational woundings, which is your lower chakras. You're now working with the higher vibrational chakras because everything goes from lower to higher. You're carrying more light within the chakras. Your chakras are now balancing out a lot more. Your chakras are all based on the divine feminine, divine masculine woundings of every chakra. All your chakras hold multidimensional stories in it, coming from other timelines, other lifetimes, other planets. They're directly related to what unfolds here on Earth. That's the design of your blueprint. Your blueprint is a living document that allows you to go through and understand the minutiae of your own ascension pathwork. You're a diverse being from many planets, many realms. You're cosmic. That's why when my clients had come to me and they were moving through various aspects of disease in their life, and when we got to that stage of healing, and that the 3 A's of ascension is the acceptance stage, is when you reach that alchemic point where everything in your body shifts, because that's what acceptance is. Acceptance is that alchemy. But we had to go through that healing process to get to that acceptance point, because there was a constant resistance of my client within her body, which created and manifested a disease. And it's no different than someone that carries around a lot of weight for many, many years, because they don't feel the acceptance within themselves, and that harmony, that minutia, that synergy, which is what we talk about in the higher vibrational learning, is the synergy with source. When you create the synergy with source, that disease clears itself, because the light gets there. There is a harmony brought. You brought that alchemy to that experience. That person in that body could not get, because of all the teachings that we've been taught, shown and told, was that we're not able to be angels on earth, because angels live in heaven and they have wings and they look like angels. No, there's beings here on earth that walk around in an earth body that feel very uncomfortable and very awkward and strange and weird, and we're constant resistance with ourselves, because what we're taught, told, and shown is so low vibrational, it's very separative, it's very discriminatory. Everybody before you is an aspect of God. But we have to get to that self-acceptance to say, yes, I'm an earth angel. I can accept my body, because the earth angel is so much grander than the physical body. And there's a constant resistance, a constant dichotomy. And many of the people that come to me for healings, we go through the minutia based on whatever is in the Akash, what's coming forward, what the temperament and the pacing is of that being and that client, and the teams and Mother, Father, God, and whoever they come with, open up to what are the wounds of the moment that we can start clearing, and we can start creating new codes. Those new codes are, again, your higher vibrational activations, and everything is allowing that source to flow in and out, so those densities and those blocks can be released and transmuted. Because remember, energy is never destroyed. You got to alchemize it. The only way you can alchemize it, as I said, with all of those people that were doing what they were doing, all the secret societies, all of the governments and all those programs, everybody that has done and been an abuse of the universal laws, that have harmed and hurt people, that have done the underground trafficking, they have to look at what they've done and what they've manifested and what they've chosen and the people that they've hurt. This is the magical point that Source is offering, all, as we said 2 years ago, from Archangel Michael, from those beings that were specifically targeting and abusing me. Everybody was given that point 2 years ago in all of my videos and all of my blogs. This is your course alteration. You have an opportunity to alter your course and do what is right. You have an opportunity to get on the new earth ascension and start integrating those wounds and start integrating those low vibrational choices that you chose to be in a secret society that kept you separate and secret. If you have to be secret, you're not aligned. If you have to be secret and hidden behind things, then you're not aligned. God is utter transparency. Your chakras need and require transparency to be healed. The more light that you're flowing through your chakras is full transparency. If you're not living in your truth and you're hiding and you're lying and you're deceiving, you're in a dark energy space. And your chakras will not move. Your chakras will not oscillate in the highest percentage that they can. It's all free will. Everybody can do what they want. I'm saying that there are shifts going on right now. There is an Epstein-like earth and there is a new earth. Because those energies can no longer coexist. That's why Source said, I will no longer be blocked and I will no longer be targeted. Everybody will be moved out. Because I've had enough of the abuse. I've had enough of the tormenting. And now it's time for me to get on with my destiny. Because there's always timing and there's always placement for the minutia of growth to occur. But it's been overkill. Enough is enough. So people are given an opportunity right now to alter course. Do you want to be in unity consciousness? Do you want to choose to go within and have the connection and alignment with Spirit Source? Or do you choose to continue in the low vibrational games of taking, of raping, of pillaging, of giving your power away, of thinking that the secret societies is where it's at, and then it will be on that Epstein-like earth and it will be in extinction? Because you will not survive as a species when you're creating karmic timelines for your children, dumping your children into karmic timelines by creating underground secret societies and the amount of conjuring that goes on in those secret societies. It brings utter imbalance to the entire collective. If you're going against the first 2 laws, you're interfering with people's life, there's a ton of karma that city has to account for. That's why, again, we said yesterday in Dubai, the experiences that occurred in Dubai, that was Gaia's response. That was a Gaia transaction. Gaia was showing everybody the energies and the vibrations that were in Dubai. The flooding is the emotional connection and the intuitiveness of the divine feminine. Where was that missing? So there's karma unfolding for everybody, and everybody just has to choose how much do you want to force God's hand. Anybody that knows anything about energy, you never would, again, those that practice, we talked about yesterday, those that are practicing and understanding universal laws, when you're aligned, you would never sell your spiritual soul. You would never sign and sell your soul to any group, any sect, any person, any government. You just wouldn't, because there's nothing higher than your ranking with God. That's your compass. Nobody and nothing on a 3D version of Earth, it doesn't matter what their title is or how much money they think they have. I had people come to me and actually tell me how much money they have, because they wanted me to buy into, I'm just going to go with you. I'm going to go for that shiny thing over there. Yeah, I'm going to go with that because you got a lot of money. I'm going to go over there because that sounds really great. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything. My compass with God is everything. I would rather be homeless than be with those people that take the spirit from those innocent, that degrade the energy on the planet. There's no games here. There's no more games. You're either going to be in the extinction experience, which is taking and pillaging and having no care for universal laws, and there will be extinction, because you cannot have a species that evolves with low vibrational taking and pillaging and never healing the divine masculine, divine feminine woundings. Divine feminine has been erased for 3,000 years. And that's why me being here and God lifting me to a global platform will trigger many. Because there will be many that will have to face their own darkness and their own shadow about a divine feminine coming forward with the highest version of universal truths, universal healings, and as much source energy as I offer, I can help heal people overnight. And some will just refuse to see a divine feminine in divine godly energy. It's never been done before, so I'm going to move forward with my destiny. And there's nothing that will stand in my way to be all that I am. I'm a hybrid, I'm an ultra human, and I'm meant to be exactly who I am, and I'm not going to silence. And so God will assure that everybody will be moved, because I carry the unique DNA that everybody is meant to step into their own uniqueness. And those that are walking earth angels, those that are conduits, those that are high functioning children, those that are autistic, those that are crystals or indigos, whatever we want to call ourselves in that moment, it's no different than being what you call yourself as a sexual preference. You have to alchemize all of those experiences and just be one with allness. There's no more definitions anymore. It's just a matter of just alchemizing all and moving into higher vibrational intelligence, and that is the direct alignment with the higher self. Be very discerning. We're going to talk quickly about the Akash, and we're going to get into our travel notes. Those that speak on the Akash, and those that, again, we said yesterday, there's very few on the planet that are trained and fully ready and prepared and trained to teach on the Akash and to heal with the Akash. The Akash is a very sacred record between you and Source only on all the timelines and all the planets that you've ever existed upon. And again, it's a living document and it changes. And the only access to that is, again, your teams, right? Because your teams are you, right? The Akash carries your timelines, your potentiation. Everything is energy, so potentiations are energy reads, and predictions are energy reads. Whatever that being, if that being chooses to stay in low vibrational belief systems, there's not going to be a lot of change, and that predictability is there. That's what conduits do. We read energy at any one point. If there's somebody that's going through a lot of change and a lot of alchemy, and they're really into it, and thank you, Holy Spirit, they're really excited about becoming unified with Source, then there's a greater, remember, light begets light, excitement begets excitement. Therefore, there's going to be a lot of alchemy there, and that person can clear away a lot of karma. So again, it's all about your inner, right? Here's your inner motives and intentions. If your motives are to scheme and plot and plan and steal and all of those low vibrational secret society agendas and coven agendas and trying to get and take and steal and be better and competition, all those low vibrational energies, those are lower two chakras. There's no wounding. It's feeding ego. They're not aligned. They will have to be shifted out, because there is no vibrational connection. Somebody that's operating at 5D cannot be around people like that, because my energy is too important, my energy is too valuable, and God will be lifting me to serve those that want to be on the path of unity consciousness. I will no longer be held back by low vibrational, degrading people that are just succubus because they haven't cared for their body, they don't care for their belief systems, they've given their body away to entities. And that is usually when entities come into the vessel and they literally start eating the vessel. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. God, the higher self, and the soul. This is just how the Akash goes. This is only through God karma is delivered. God and the higher self and the soul and the ancestors will not protect that being any longer because they've continually disregarded the heating of spirit. They've continually disregarded the altar course, red flags. Their guides will step back. Their ancestors will step back. They will not be protected. And that demons and those entities will do whatever they choose to do with that vessel, because they have to balance out the scale. If they've done 12 sacrifices and that person just keeps getting money and they keep living in that type of energy, they're going to have to balance the scale. There has to be a balancing of energy, and that's God. Only God directs that. Only God distributes that. God can distribute that karma to go to that being and that entity, depending on what that being chose to do to others in that lifetime, because it has to be a soul lesson. That soul lesson can be that God will distribute a mental disorder or a mental disease, because if that person wanted to control, say me, for instance, all they did was attack me to control me, to dominate me, to bind me. However many binding spells were done on me, Spirit showed me there was 180 different rituals that were done on me to try and control me, to try and bind me, to try and swap my destiny, to try and make me gay, to try and, all these ridiculous, stupid, idiotic, so much fuck shit. Say 180 different rituals, 17 different sacrifices. These people have to balance because every single one of those spells and rituals was against spiritual law. So already their soul is in karma. They're in spiritual court. The spiritual court's already closed. Spiritual court doors are closed. The ancestors have stepped back. There's no more protection. Now karma's folding out, and that soul knows what that soul's end state is. There has to be a repayment of those energies. There has to be a repayment of the debts that were bringing so much darkness to that one area, whether it be through ritual conjuring, through necromancy conjuring, through secret society conjuring, in the basement with their robes conjuring, out in the backyard and out in a grassy knoll conjuring. Those are energies that have to be rebalanced, and every person will receive karma onto it. And you can't scapegoat anybody. Every single person involved of that coven, of that group that did nothing, that thought that it was okay to abuse somebody, that thought it was okay to conjure, thought it was okay to imbalance the entire collective, to imbalance the entire galaxy with their constant conjuring, all of those beings are being sent karma. You can't sit and watch somebody be abused and say, oh, and I wasn't the abuser, it was okay. No, you're absolutely guilty. Your soul said it was okay for people to be abused. There is a big shifting out. I don't care if anybody believes me. I don't care. I'm not here to make anybody believe me on anything. I teach higher vibrational source energy. So we're talking about karma. And so those that tried to dominate me, tried to make me be their slave, tried to make me traffic me, tried to veil my platform so that I wouldn't be seen or hidden. Every single one of those intentions is going back to those that intended it, the secret societies, those that were financing it. And they will start to receive as their guide only their higher self, in agreement with God, only their higher self, because those lessons have to flow to their whole entire family and their whole entire lineage. That's why I said 2 years ago, if people really knew the actions that they were doing and taking, that it would ripple down to their lineage and to their next 5 or 6 timelines, they would have never done what they did to me. They would never do underground trafficking. They would never do what they do to another soul. That's why I've said right from day one, everything is healable. Violence, crime, trafficking, corruption is not necessary. Heal your fucking wounds. If you knew that you were dumping 10 lineages of karma on your family for your choices to disregard, to traffic children, to try and take out a light worker, the last messenger for humanity, if you knew that that would cause you 10 timelines where you were born into a sick body, a deprived body, a mentally ill body, you would have not done it, and you've committed that to your children because you refuse to heed God. If God says my destiny is to be a global teacher, healer, leader, and anybody that chooses to go against that destiny, if they think they have a right, it just blows my mind, the arrogance of people. They think they have a right to do a destiny swap with me. We're going to talk about the Akasha. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, and everybody's getting karma. And there is going to be no mercy. There's going to be everybody has a chance to alter course and do what is right. The only way out is truth. You have to clear your karma. How do you clear your karma? Your karma is what's sitting in your chakras that have been suppressed, depressed, has been, suppressed so down your chakras aren't moving. There's no light in your chakras. There's no light in your body. There's no light in your cells. There's no light in your DNA. You have to clear that by bringing light. And how do you bring light? By being truth. Truth is saying that I'm aligning with my spirit. Truth is saying I'm aligning with my sense of self. Truth is saying I'm working on my sense of self. I'm aligning with that sense of self. That truth is my truth. Know thyself. That's how come truth is the only way through. No, this is my truth. This is my experience. This is my story. I'm not going to step down. I'm not going to be bullied out of my story. This is my story. I was abused and I survived. I lost everything and I survived. I had grouped and sect of people that thought they were going to dominate me and they were going to handle me and they were going to say what my story was and what my destiny was. Who the hell are you? No, God is my writer. I write with God, period. And there's a lot of people that owe me money. And I will sue everybody. And then they'll see how far their secret society and all their scapegoating will do, because the secret societies are falling now. They're trying to figure out who they're going to scapegoat. Because Satan and Lucifer ain't going to have your back. Because it's giving your power away. The whole secret society idea is to do things, to conjure, to spell, to hold rituals, to hold sacrifices, to hire spiritual hitmen, to hire spiritual and physical hitmen, mafia hitmen, to do all of these things to make people know that we're the ones in power here. We're going to give our power away to say we have power. Again, none of it makes sense. It's not intelligent. The darkness doesn't have any light in it. It's not intelligent. It has the same pattern. You're giving your power away to somebody that you think is going to give you power, and they're not going to be sitting with you in the courtroom. Why? Because God's going to make sure that every single person that has ever hurt or harmed the innocent, that have been told 8 billion times, that had the money, that had the resources, that have the ability to heal, and they chose not to. They had a spiritual master sit before them for 8, 12, 15, 17 years and say, this is how you heal. This is how you reconnect with God. This is how you have a relationship with Source Creator. This is how you create oneness on your planet. This is how you release yourself from secret society, low vibrational dominance patterns. And you continued after thousands and thousands and thousands of offerings to heal. You chose to still target a divine feminine innocent. Again, there's nothing more valuable and precious than your spiritual oneness with Source. There is no 3D being, there's no 3D title, there's no 3D money that will ever, ever, ever come close to your spiritual knowingness with Source. I cannot be bought. I won't be. I've never had a boss. In my spiritual work, I've never had a boss. I've never agreed to give my signature in any way. Why would I? Because I'm an advocate for human rights. My voice is my voice. No one speaks for me. No one can sell me to a different cult and say, we're going to sell her. She's worth this much money. I'm going to get the money now, and you get to give me your title. The entire mentality of secret society and how they operate will be their own demise. It's dark, it's not intelligent, and they give their power away to deities that will not have their back ever, because they're lessons. Lucifer and Satan is a lesson. They are lower vibrational deities. That's it. They're lessons in claiming your power or giving it away. Your power is your life force. Your power is your source with light. And your light is all that is. Your light is everything. Your light is your chakras. Your light is your breath. Your light is your connection, your alignment with God. As your higher self, Metatronic light, nothing to do with religion. So therefore, secret societies will be their own demise. They're given the opportunity now to do what's right, return the monies, stop trafficking, stop doing the spiritual hits, and alter course. And if they choose not to alter course, every single one of them will receive karma. God has every single one of their numbers. They can't hide. They can't destroy evidence. None of that will be done. Every person that was involved in attacks on innocent lightworkers are getting karma now. The only way through is truth. That's it. You have to earn your spiritual ranking. Spell work is not spiritual ranking. Doing sacrifices is not spiritual ranking. That's low vibrational domination tactics. That's not spiritual power. Spiritual power is reclaiming who you are and aligning with higher self. Period. So whatever governments, whatever societies, whatever businesses operate in this way, bribery and money's handing back and forth, and the level of corruptions that I experienced, it was a miracle that I survived, and I only survived because of Source Creator God. And God will make sure that every single aspect of evidence, anybody coming forward, there's people being worked on every night. People are going to come forward with truth. People are going to come forward with their own versions of their stories, and there will be rights that will be made, because nobody wants to carry around that darkness in their soul, because it imbalances their brain. They're going to get mental diseases, physical diseases, because the body cannot operate in its highest optimum of health if they're carrying around so much darkness and carnage of taking people's lives and doing spells and trying to sacrifice somebody and trying to bring somebody poverty and ugly spells and never to have happiness ever in a life. Like, who does that? You have to get assessed. Seriously, if you're, again, as we said yesterday, the 3D vibrational learning and the 5D learning, it's all feeding the ego, and the ego has to be fed somewhere. So if you're not feeding it with source and you're not doing your light work, sometimes they have to get that source energy through sexual experiences, because that's the exchange of life force. It's a low vibrational way of getting life force exchange. It's a very dark vibrational way to get exchange. Polygamy, polyamorous, all that kind of stuff in those secret societies, in those underground covens and cults, etc. There's exchange of life force. It's a very dark life force, and there are exchanges of entities. You have to go through an entire multidimensional healing process to clear those beliefs, those wounds, those tragedies to spirit. Your spirit goes through tragedies. I see what goes on. I'm a seer. I see what goes on. I'm a healer. I see what goes on in the body, in the chakras, in the cells, in the fields when a rape occurs. When you're transferring black energy back and forth because that's all you have left, because you've given your light to deities. Because all the deities do is they feed. They're not aligned with spirit, they're aligned with darker energies, so they feed off whatever they can get, who can give it away. So if you're not aligned with your higher self and you're not nourishing yourself with source light, you're not nourishing yourself with self-love, you're not nourishing yourself with self-care, you're giving that power to those deities and those energies. They're lessons. Lucifer is a lesson, Satan is a lesson. Lucifer and Satan don't show you how to operate in the highest Metatronic light. They show you how to give your energy away. If you give your energy away, your body will be in constant depletion. Those energies, because they're working from the lower chakras, they've given their energies away. They've made vows to deities. They've given their promises to deities. They've done secret society rituals to deities. They're in a 33-degree robe and they're walking around in a circle saying, I'm going to give you my power if I get this next title. Those are giving your power away, and you're going to have to rebalance it. Your body is losing because you give it away. You give it away with your own free will. You're losing your life force, and you will have entity attachment. You will open your vessel, heart, because remember, you're a multidimensional being, mind, body, heart, and soul. However, spirit, God, your higher self choose to give you that karma. Because you chose to dominate and control others, that domination and control karma might return to you for everybody before you to see. That's how you practiced. You wanted to control people. You wanted to take from people. Here's how your karma is, because the reality has to show you. Your reality is showing you. Your life is your proof. I wanted to control people, so now I'm going to have that equally taken from me. That control intention. You intended to control. You intended to bring poverty. You intended to dominate. Those intentions, you're intending it. It goes into your intention. Intention is how I intend my beingness. These secret societies and these people that practice these things, they don't understand energy. They are intending their demise. They've sacrificed their own life force. They didn't have to. In any way. If you're doing spell work, you're not aligned. If you're doing spell work, you don't know who you are. If you're doing spell work, you have no sense of self. And I'm talking the spell work that is done that is not for healing. Spell work is meant and intended to be for healing. On you only. If you have permission to heal somebody else, then that is, again, you're operating with the higher universal laws. Teachers, healers, readers will all be tested in this new phase of what we're going into 5D. Everyone's going to be tested. Are you aligning with the universal laws before you give information out? And when we're talking about the Akash, there are very few on the planet that are trained and prepared to use the Akash as a healing tool. Be very wary about anybody talking about the Akash as if they can read anybody's Akash and they can get access to anybody's Akash. They can't. And they shouldn't be talking like that. They're not a highly aligned being that works with the Akash on a healing modality. The ones that I offer on my YouTube platform, the ones that I offer and refer, those are the ones that have been prepared for a very long time. They are higher vibrational channels. They have access to the Akash, and they have access. Anybody that's stepping before them for a nefarious reason, they won't get any information, because spirit on the other side knows and will only give information that is for that person sitting right there. It doesn't matter how many fake names they want to give, because they want to try and fool spirit. You can't fool spirit, idiots. Anybody that is using fake icons and fake pages and using fake names and trying to fool the readers, everybody is getting karma. You can't fool spirit. You can't fool spirit, and you won't feel spirit. You're going to get the information that will put you right back into karma. You got to understand spiritual laws, and the readers are going to be tested. I don't want to do. I'm not going to take these energies anymore. And you can say no and don't take the clients, because they're just selling their souls. Their focus is on other people. Their focus is on outer. Their focus is not caring about spiritual healing. They're not caring about their clearing of their karma. If the focus is outer, if the focus is on other, you're not aligned. If the focus is on outer, if the focus is on another, you're feeding the ego. You're not aligned. Do the healing. The only focus should be on you. The Akash is only for you. There are a few on the planet. I'm not saying there's a ton. There are a ton that can have access, and they have to go through the practices, and they have to go through their own initiations with their higher selves and with spirit and with God. The highest access to protect and honor the Akash is of the highest realms through God's say. Not everybody has access for specific reasons. Yes, it's only for healing. It's only for you. You're meant to mine your own Akash so that you can pull in the gifts and skills and the body and the health that you need to and you want to. That is a gift that God gives you. You have to actively work on your traumas and your triggers and your 51% of karma. It's all interrelated. Again, if you're feeding ego and all you care about is getting the shiny office, you're not in alignment of anything. All you're doing is feeding ego, the take, want, and that's a succubus energy. You know a succubus energy when they don't care about anything to do with alignment and serving the soul and healing. They just want to feed. That's succubus. And the succubus are the ones that want readings to get into people's Akash so they can try and switch destinies and do spell work and do crazy, dumb, weird, a lot of karma stuff. It doesn't make sense. It's very low vibrational. So we're going to shift topics now. So again, the Octurians showed me there are aspects of space that there's lots of councils and lots of beings in the 7th dimensional and higher that go to various aspects of space and bring certain codes of light there to help bring greater fluidity and movement of source in those aspects of space that have been very stagnant. That's what light workers and conduits like myself, we're taken to very dark places. We're taken to very obscure experiences so that we can pierce through those entanglements of dark enmeshment of deceit, lies, manipulation. Anybody that does it, like the secret societies, all the underground experiences, those that do a lot of energy and conjuring, those energies have to be cleared. And that's why there will be certain areas of Gaia that will experience karma, because they have to clear that energy, whether it's a torrential downpour, whether it's a volcano, whether it's a earthquake, those energies have to be cleared. This is why we've said through all of our postings, the ones that are leaders of the countries, they should be caring only right now about helping the people understand greater integration of the higher self and balance. That should be the highest priority on our planet right now, so that we're not creating any more imbalance for one another. We're not creating any more imbalance for Gaia. We're not creating any more imbalance about the misguidance and the misinformation about energy and spell work and conjuring. There is a lot of rebalancing that has to take place, and nobody's going to be missed. We have to understand these laws. And if you choose not to understand, you think it's all a big hoax, and you think it's, again, get off my channel. You know, you're going to be on the Epstein earth, and you're going to get your equal karma. Again, it's not going to be tolerated anymore. The ignorance and the abhorrence and the abuse is not going to be tolerated. Every IP address is being watched. Every derogatory comment is being watched, and it's being flagged. Everybody is being watched. Even if you're in a secret underground and you're in your little tunnel or you're in your little basement and wearing your robe and you got your robe hat on, Spirit knows everything. Spirit knows all. You're being watched. And the evidence will be how the evidence will need to be, so that each and every person will receive balance. And I will sue everybody that was involved in my particular case, because I am the voice for Divine Feminine over 3,000 years. I am a voice for all children over 3,000 years. I am a voice for all Gaia. I am a voice for all nature. Our planet will ascend into new earth. Unity consciousness, healing of the Divine Feminine Masculine, our planet will be restored. That is my promise, and that is my hope. I am a speaker of this. Move out of my way, because I will stand, and I'm not going to sit down, and I will bring exposure to everybody that stands before me. Stand before me, Satan, and I will pierce everything that you say is a truth or not truth. I can read you. That's my destiny. because Gaia deserves her balance. She deserves to go into 5D. And corrupt secret societies, corrupt elite people, corrupt elite financing is not necessary. The first will be last and the last will be first. The entire planet deserves fairness, safety, balance, and abundance with Source Creator. Every human will have a voice. Every aspect of animal will have a voice. Gaia has her voice. No more chemtrails, no more agendas of elite toxic attacks and corruption. Corruption is done. Heal your wounding. Or not. Everybody's going to get karma either way. You're either going to get good karma because you're on unity consciousness, or it will be on, again, the Epstein-like earth. So again, our grids have just been updated, which means we're going to feel different things. We wanted to go through the Ascension symptoms because we had a big shift and you're going to feel things differently. The higher vibrational integration. New levels of integration because you're constant crafting with God, with Source Creator. In every moment, you're going through a moment, a new awareness, a new awakening of alchemy. Right? As you see something before you, you can accept it, acknowledge it, and bring it in for your own now story, because your now impression helps you ground to new energies. And you're going to feel kind of lightheaded. We've just gone into a new energy of space, if you will. It's a new omnipresent, it's a new quotient of light. It's a more refined light. That light of the substrate of the omnipresent field, if you will. Again, go see Greg Braden's videos about the consciousness being alive, the universe being alive. That means that that breath of God, that essence of God, that source of God is breathing in alignment. It's breathing in unison of that new light begets light, light begets light. So there's a higher energy, a higher refinement of light that can heal and you can work with. Again, you're the commandmentship of you. You're the commandmentship of your reality. You can be working with these energies to heal. You can be working with these energies to manifest. You don't need anything outside of you. You never need to take anything outside of you. You never need to take anything from anybody outside of you. You never need to do a spell. All you do is just work with your illumination with spirit. And you can manifest and you can heal anything. You're working with you in spirit. That's it. So it's about understanding and shifting your perspective to a higher vibrational alignment of intelligence. We don't need to learn through books and bricks and mortar anymore. We're aligning through the higher vibrational source. All information from the higher realms comes as a download. Now, those downloads have to be processed and integrated for you to then bring it forward and express it. Because remember the 3 E's of Ascension. You're a vessel of God. You're a vessel of constant evolution. You're a vessel of constant alchemy. You have to be able to express all that you've been given from Source. If you're not using your gifts in alignment with Source, if you're not using your gifts in alignment with universal laws, those gifts will be taken away and closed off and turned off. Because God's not going to allow you to keep abusing people, right? Those 3 E's have everything to do with your exploration, your experience, and your expression of who you are as God. That is your expression of a constant evolutionary being. Your Metatronic light is being constantly practiced. So that means you have to sit with the download. As I said yesterday, I gave an experience of one of my higher vibrational integrations because I've cleared away a lot of the lower vibrational 51% of my karma. So now I get to integrate into the higher realms. And God was showing me yesterday as I was, having a beautiful channel with God. I said, okay, God, let's just relax and have fun. And God had taken me to a sector of deep space. And God was showing me, that the finger of God was like showing me deep space, breathing and expanding. And I was just like overblown because the first thing that I thought about was, oh my gosh, I need like a spacesuit or something. And God was saying, well, why do you need a spacesuit? You're with me. And I thought, oh yeah, right. But because of the entrainment that my mind just went to is that, I'm here in deep space, I need a spacesuit. But Spirit was showing me, well, you're 9th dimensional, you're just consciousness, you're just spirit, you don't need a spacesuit. And then, so I thought, okay, so that's again a higher vibrational entrainment. I'm being prepared to integrate aspects of what I don't need in those higher vibrational experiences. The higher vibrational integration of your celestial cosmic integration is because you've cleared away that 51%. Now your teams are going to download through your higher self, through your soul. Again, because remember, you have soul aspects of yourself on higher vibrational dimensional threads in Arcturus or Palladians that want to come down and start anchoring more light into you, anchoring more gifts and skills that are needed for your destiny, your soul's blueprint, and why you're here. So again, transitioning from, this is what I help people do as well, in my creative consulting session appointments, is I help not only clear and activate and release all of the lower vibrational energies, but I also help you step into how to transition your 3D experience into a 5D experience, which is the creational genius. That means that you're having that soul-fulfilling experience of the gifts and skills and talents from any of those aspects of yourself, your soul, that are ready to live through as the fluidity of source. That's why clearing and healing and aligning with your higher self is what gives you true power. There's nothing outside of you, no deity you need to pray to. It's just you and spirit and your exploration of source. That is using the epitome of all of your soul fragments, all of the soul aspects, all realms that you can move to in your consciousness, as Source showed me, that higher version of me, having that deep space experience with Source. That was a higher vibrational and ninth dimensional experience that I was able to sit with Source within. I then downloaded that, and now I have to sit and process it. So the part of that processing is going to my journal and writing that out. How did that feel? What are my new perspectives? How is my consciousness able to expand up to a ninth dimensional level? What is it that I can now bring to this earth experience and show people how to expand their consciousness and their higher vibrational thought forms in the alignment of their higher self, to know that anything is possible and we can just portend it. We can start intending into the reality that yes, we can bilocate, we can move in and out of our Merkaba's experiential flow of vibrational, because that's all travel really is in space, if you will, is about vibration, right? I can put my vibration on the Pleiades by intending and directing my energy there, because the Pleiades has a different vibration than Sirius. Because again, their star systems, Pleiades is huge, right? There's different, I have nature vibration in Pleiades that I go to for my nature meditations. That is a different meditation than an oceanic experience in Sirius, or an amphibious experience, because I have amphibious bodies that I've gone to in Sirius. Again, your cosmic, galactic, celestial, because I'm an ultra human, I'm a hybrid. A lot of my DNA is to access those codes. Part of my gift as a healer is when people come before me, and when I'm before people, is I give that hybrid code. I offer that hybrid code because I've activated it in my DNA. That code is what feels different and strange and awkward, and I have energies and visions and teachings that I offer, and it gives stories, it gives energies to those that so desire before me. If you sit with an open heart, willing to activate your oneness with Source, you have access to those hybrid codes as well. It's all about your intention. Can you align with the higher source mind? Because if it can't align in your mind, if you're absolutely saying, no, this is not possible, this, I can't do it, then you're not going to have the activations. You will just be triggered, and you'll continue to feed your ego. That is the wounding. You're not safe, right? So if you're excited to know Source, if you're excited to have a cosmic celestial integration, you're excited to be your Metatronic fullness, you're excited to be the whole Christ version of you, the infinite aspects of you, the infinite versions of you, the infinite preferences of you, the infinite colors of you, the infinite forms of you, that is your oneness. That is unity consciousness. And that is what our celestial teams had showed me yesterday, and why I did the video yesterday, is preparing us for first contact. Because part of those higher vibrational cosmic galactic integrations is preparing us for first contact. Can you see and know yourself as the many versions that you are, and helps you release those beliefs of discrimination and separation of anything that is before you? And that helps your healing process. That's alchemy. So I'll give you an example. So just take a deep breath. We're going to do a little visualization. And just straighten your spine. Your spine being straight is so important. Your feet on the floor, and just feel your feet connect with the grids, connect with the earth. Take a full body breath, and in that full body breath, you're seeing light come up from the bottom. Breathe in light, breathe in light, breathe in light. And as you exhale, see and feel light being bathed down upon you, and Holy Lord Metatron and Archangel Michael and all the angels are bathing you and cleansing you and bathing you and cleansing you with high vibrational light, crystalline light, crystalline light. And you'll see colors, you'll see energies, you'll see codes, you'll see glyphs, and just clear away any energies of darkness, clear away any imprints or any anger or any energies that people have projected at you, or impaled at you, or you've picked up in the air, you've picked up in this social experience. Just let it go. I release all negative energies. Take a deep breath of light. Deep breath of light. You're aligning your chakras. Breath aligns. Breath is intention. Breath is direction. Breath is your alchemy. And you're calling in all your soul fragments. I'm calling in all light back to myself. Any energy I've given away, I call it back to me. I reclaim my light. I reclaim my energy. I reclaim my light. I reclaim my energy. I seal my aura, and I seal my chakras with holy Metatronic light. I'm being nourished, and I'm being healed, and I'm being nourished, and I'm being healed. Remember, all you need is spirit. I'm showing you how to align and how to nourish. You nourish with light. You nourish with intention. You nourish with affirmation. And your body and your fingers should feel vibrational essence right now because you're activating source light. I'm activating source light, and your skin and your appendages, your fingers, your chakras are going to show you by vibration. It feels like a little hum inside your fingers, inside your skin. That is source essence. So keep practicing with breath until you feel the vibrational essence of source. And you can even ask source to show source to you. Say, God, Mother, Father, can you please show yourself to me? And sit in silence and just open your chakras to receive. Your hands up, palms up. Holy Spirit, pure of heart. Everything is pure of heart. Your intention is everything. I love you, Holy Mother, Father. I love you, Holy Mother, Father. Thank you, Holy Mother, Father. Can you please allow us to feel the essence of your love and unconditionality? And Source will bless you with love, and Source will bless you with goosebumps or shivers or chills. And some might break down crying, and you're breathing in Source light. I breathe in Source light. The purity of my heart, dear Mother and Father, I wish my connection to be renewed with you. I wish my relationship to be renewed with you. My relationship in my root chakra and in my sacral and in my solar plexus. All chakras, I wish a new relationship with you. I wish to be bathed with light. I wish to be aligned in your presence of love and light and eternity. And take a deep breath. And in all the galaxies and all the star systems and all the planets that you exist within, you see and you feel yourself in the human body that you are. And in healing sessions, you can transcend disease, you can transcend genetic diseases, you can transcend entity attachment, you can transcend anything with your connection with Mother and Father, Source Creator, your higher self alignment. We are infinitely love and benevolence, and feel your heart chakra open. And bathing the highest beautiful crystalline light. You're loved and you're loved and you're loved, and Holy Lord Michael is bathing you with love. And your guides and your angels and your teams are bathing you with love. And just think and ponder for a minute, because everyone will be releasing discrimination and judgment based on what environments they've grown up in, what sense of love they've been given and shown themselves, if they've been able to self-design their own life, to have the power to know thyself, to direct thyself, to create thyself over and over and over again with the power of spirit. What if the body that you sat within was the body that you chose to take on to feel comfortable in whatever way you could on this planet? What if the human body you sit within, regardless of color or form or gender, what if it was something you just chose to put on? It's no different than a belief. It's no different than a way that you choose to move about your day. And this body has cells and organs and muscles and tissue, skeletal, various systems within systems, and all operate within the essence of Source Creator. They're all communicating and talking as Source. The omnipresence and the breath and the life and the nourishment and the soils and the air and the water is all Source. Speaking to each other, speaking of it. Energy, communications, higher vibrational codes, higher vibrational union to allow you to discover that you are all things. You can choose connection and relationship at any point. And what if this body that you sit within right now was only your temporary choosing? What if in this next moment, in a higher vibrational integration, as you accepted yourself as all things, and you accepted the woundings of what you were shown as divine feminine, what you were shown as divine masculine, and the various social insecurities, and all of the dogmatic insecurities and traumas, and all of those belief systems and judgments impaled upon you and taught to you and shown to you, were now just lifted away, with your intention and your purity to release what is no longer serving you as a limitation. And you release them to Source now. I release any limitations to Source Creator. And you'll feel goosebumples and you'll feel shivers all over your body, because you're giving yourself intention as the wholeness that you are, in all forms that you've carried, in all planets that you've carried, to release any limitations that keep you in lower vibrational belief systems and thought forms and cycles. You don't choose that cycle of karma anymore. I choose to know that my body is changeable. My form is changeable. My beliefs are changeable. My perspectives are changeable. That's light. And this body I chose to take on was so that I could feel comfortable in this human place, to understand my place, to feel compassion and acceptance in my place, in my form and in my body. Because I am a master, I am one with all that is. And I can choose my form and I can change my form. I can change disease. I can change youthing. I can change anything because I am one with God. I am a creator. And what if this body that you took on was only a version of you, but actually you were a being from another experience, and you were chosen to come here with the unique codes that you are here to offer, be it angel, be it hybrid, be it alien, be it celestial, be it crystal, be it indigo. And many of you are experiencing goosebumps because you're giving yourself an acknowledgement and a validation and acceptance that you are many things and you're all things. Give yourself permission to be multiversal. Give yourself permission to be Metatronic. Give yourself permission to be all that is. Give yourself permission to be one. Give yourself permission to release judgment. Give yourself permission to release the resistance within your body, trying to resist who you are as godly. You are godly, dear lighted ones. You've made your way here. Take a deep breath. Aila maradake shashianam aidadake asisyananaka idadake shashiananaka alala manadake chinamakaradake tanamakarade lananana idadake nanai naida. Take a deep breath. Alamarakated the case, line and a kid the case, Shiana Nakada, Tesiana, and a Kataka, and a Kataka, Shiana, Lalana, the day, and I, and the mother did that night, day, Siana, night, day, night, Take a deep breath. Reach up to the heavens, reach up to the heavens, reach up to the heavens, cleanse and cleanse and cleanse. There's lots of clearing going on in the higher chakras. Some of you for the rest of the day might experience your ears ringing because there's a lot of clearing away of the densities, what you thought you were told and shown to be who you are, but you're not. You're far greater, you're far grander. Anything that you are as a being, your allness, your allness, your allness. Have that as your mantra. What you were taught and told and shown in 3D was all outer. Your outer focus is not necessary any longer. Your outer focus is only a version of what the energies you were operating in from your history. And now you can change it. You are the influencer of your environment. So influence it in the way that you choose to receive a manifestation. Influence it with love. Influence it with health. Influence it with life. Influence it with acceptance of all beingness. Influence it with acceptance of all consciousness of who you are in all realms and all bodies. Those are higher vibrational integrations because they are preparing for you to see your celestial families, your galactic families that look nothing like you. Their vibration is different. My vibration is different. I've brought myself here to this planet by choice with Mother, Father, God. Through the Holy Mother, I was stationed here to bring unique codes, to bring unique light, to bring unique teachings, those that want to transcend conformity, those that want to transcend darkness and the devil energies of being bound to something. Liberate yourself, dear lighted ones. You are all aspects of creation. How could you not be? There are countless planets. There are countless forms. There are countless vibrations of dimension. Why would you only be one thing? Sweep away all limitations. Sweep away all limitations. Sweep away all limitations. I am free. Amaira Kitia Shanamaya Ramaya Idiana Maya Nana Kitia Siamaya Ilamanakadation Nanaira Maya Naya. I la la shia nana kara de case siana makara de gela na de case nana ka de shishimana ka. So that's connecting the heart chakra with the higher chakras. So there's a lot of fluidity and a lot of movement going on there. So you can work with that for the rest of the day and have those be as your clearings. So remember that you're activating any moment that you so desire to be the allness of your whole soul. Soul fulfillment is living as a soul. It's not living as that one aspect in limited beliefs and perspectives. Those beliefs and perspectives have served you, but now you can transcend. Use the allness of you and the power of you, and your light with you is all that's needed. You never need to take or steal or do any crime that affects or interferes with any other. If you work within yourself, that is all that is needed. That is the systems that I only teach. Nobody can copy my stuff, and nobody can give it to anybody else and say it's theirs. That's copyright infringement, and you will get karma. I teach how to ascend through who you are as Metatronic light and integrate all the traumas through anything that you've ever learned. Integrate it. Use it as your expression. Your creative genius is everything. You are all aspects. And so here's some beautiful channels that I had from Source this morning. So we talked about the Akash. Remember, be discerning on anybody that thinks that they can access any records and what form of energy and the motive that they speak behind those things. Because remember, everybody that is in those energies of feeding the ego are speaking from those energies of intentions and motives. And those energies can be read. So be very discerning on anybody coming to you or wanting to be read or having access to anybody else's Akash. If you're having access to anybody else's Akash, you're not aligned. And you should not be accessing it because it goes against the spiritual laws and you are being watched. And you will not get the information that you think you will to do harm and to do taking and, you know, whatever it is that you choose to think to do it that you think you're doing, because you're not. Because the Akasha is very sacred and it's protected. 5D learning is about your creative alignment with your source creator, with all that you are as God, and therefore your infinite creativity. Again, dancing one day, painting the next day, singing the next day, you're a creative genius. So break away all of those 3D limitations and really liberate yourself by healing the divine feminine masculine woundings. All of the underground, all of the leaders, all of the teachers, all of the healers will be needed to help create new Christ consciousness healing systems, and I can be a part of that system creation on new system healings for the divine masculine woundings that created the underground and the various corruptions that occurred there. We have to look at the government systems, bringing money into new healing systems and new healing programs. All of that has to be looked at, and that's a part of the excitement and the celebration, right? So part of the ascension symptoms we talked about, again, ringing in the ears, because again, you're working with clearing the higher chakras. As you increase and as you move into higher vibrational bedding, the omnipresence, the consciousness alive, if you will, because you're entering into 5D gates, your body will feel different because of how somebody that is entrained in vibrational patterns and environments, because we've been entrained for certain perspectives for thousands and thousands of years, the species needs to move up in its light, or again, there will be a red alert for species extinction. And so this is why in 1987, the Ascension path was instructed as the divine plan for humanity, for Gaia. And it affects the entire multiverse. Gaia is a very important player in the galaxy. And so we will continue with the Ascension plan for Gaia. And in that, we have to, again, begin to start working and knowing ourselves as light. Well, who are we? What do we exist in? And what exists in us? And in all of that, we're starting to allow ourselves to understand higher vibrational teachings, learnings, and intelligences that is directly aligned with the higher self as God. And so just honor all of that as you being you, and the minutia of you, and the harmonizing as you, and working with you as God. And the again, the Akash, so the symptoms, again, because we've been entrained in certain perspectives and aspects, when you go through an activation, as we just did with you, about seeing yourself as a higher activated, integrated being of cosmic energy, can be whatever form. It might be an insectoid, might be an amphibian, it might be, a 8-foot spider insectoid, whatever it might be that you're seeing yourself prepared for, integrating for your celestial teams. And if you're doing the Ascension Pathwork, those of you that have been with me for a while, you're already doing this work. That helps you inspire feeling in your new bedding, because your environment will react with you, right? When you're put into a new environment, you're immediately, because of your multidimensional systems, you're immediately interacting with everything that is that environment. Your fields, your 8-foot fields, your chakras, your energy systems start sending pulsations to the aspects of the brain that have been modified, because your brain is being upgraded all the time to receive higher vibrational light intelligence. Your light intelligence gives you information on how to discern information, how to decipher information. Again, you have to sit and process and integrate it. That's why we always suggest, when you're working with downloads, when you're working with your teams, you actually have to take time to process and integrate the information, because you want to expand and stretch yourself into becoming a higher vibrational communicator. How to interpret glyphs, how to interpret light language, how to interpret sound and various forms of new communications, higher vibrational communications that we're now practicing. In my classes, my monthly classes, we will be practicing high vibrational communications so that we can unpack stories in a glyph. Sometimes they showed me many, many years ago, and I think it's in one of my KCOR series. I have a KCOR playlist, some of my old original radio shows. They were showing me way back when, because I do land activations and Gaia activations on sacred sites. And sometimes I give information and readings on the sacred sites wherever I travel. And I do new activations to work with the new grids. And so that's part of my job here, as well as a hybrid and a conduit. And so they showed me that the glyphs can sometimes encompass an entire library. So this is where higher vibrational informations and wisdoms that are connected in alignment with your higher self, we're going to be really getting rid of most of our 3D ways that we used to learn. And higher vibrational learning systems is 100% connected with the higher self light, and that light comes in different ways that we learn. We learn through glyphs. We learn through what that glyph is encompassing, and because it's multidimensional, glyphs are multidimensional. Glyphs are changing all the time. That glyph might look like a symbol, if you will, like it might look like the symbol of a star or a Merkaba, but it actually holds a multidimensional story, just as your chakras do. We all know this. And those of us that have been, working with light and working with energy and, here as messengers of God, we take your root chakra, for instance. Your root chakra is like a disc and it spirals around. The more that you work with your chakras, the more that you have a relationship and a connection with your chakras, that is your alliance with light. That's your connection with source, as source. It's all only taught through me. I am the only one teaching what I teach. That chakra that spirals as a disc, it looks like only one shape. You might see it in your low vibrational experience because that's what you're taught and told. It's a disc shape, it's a circle. It's like a thing that goes around, and that's the only shape that it holds. But everything within that chakra, everything within that disc is a multidimensional story, and it's constantly changing because that's Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness is the light, is the Metatronic code that, again, through your activations, through your multidimensional session pathwork, depending on your pacing and your temperament, depending on what you're working on, are you working with clearing, are you working with the alliance with light, those codes are multidimensional, go into your chakras and activate so that the density clears. And then as Spirit shows me, and as I'm telling you, that light activates what's called DNA, galactic, celestial, or you can say source remembrance, because source is all encompassing, right? It could be a 9th dimensional Pleiadian remembrance. It could be a 7th dimensional Sirian remembrance. It could be a 6th dimensional Lyrian remembrance. Those are your cosmic galactic integrations. Those are what you're activating and integrating now, and that you're understanding that your chakras hold infinite stories. Even though you've cleared that 51%, now your lower chakra is going to get activated because, remember, as we're spiraling on beehives, you've just gone up a new rung. You've just gone up a new rung on the beehive into a new template of energy of light. That's why we said your ascension symptoms will affect you. This new template, this new floor bedding that you've just headed into, the gates of 5D, your body is going to feel different because it has to adjust to the new environment template. It has to adjust to that. The very same time, simultaneous. This is why I just love teaching God, because it's just, God is just so generous and so graceful. That micro macro systems within systems is simultaneously synergistically connecting with all that is God, and it's like a cascading effect. Everything within your multidimensional systems is now being activated with that new bedding, that new flooring of God template. So again, that's why we do have your teams that are working on, and if you do tune in and tap in, you can talk with your guides and ask as you're moving along these vibrational shifts and activations, what's going on and what part of the brain is being activated. And then in your processing and integration, do your Google searches and do open channel, if you will, or channeled writing. However you want to work with your guides, with your gifts, your skills, and your talents. And if you want to book a session with me, I can help you with that. But that's how I do my processing and integration. Because I am a doctor in the 7th dimensional Pleiades, I'll feel something on a certain aspect of my brain, and I'll say, okay, what are we doing there? And then the Spirit will give me a word or a term, and then I go look it up and I do channeled writing on it. That's my gift with Spirit. Now, again, remember the 3 E's. You're not going to move ahead and you're not going to move up in the beehive if you're still staying stagnant in lower vibrational practices of entrainment. If you're not using your gifts and benevolently in alignment with the universal laws, then you're not going to be activated into higher gifts and alignments. That's why I said anybody that says they think they can step into my 5D conduit experience and I'm having access to 9th and 12th dimensional energies, they can't. They're not trained. Their body, their vessel is still working on feeding its ego. It could not take any place of my destiny. Vibrationally, it could not happen. It's impossible. They would literally go insane. And that's why Spirit has showed me the last couple of weeks, those that continue, that try to abuse and try and get into my energy, it will make them sick. And they'll feel off balance and they will feel mentally unstable. And there's various reasons for that. Because my codes now are different, my light is more refined and more pure, they cannot access the light that I carry. And again, because of the work that I've done on the lowest realms and in the middle realms and in the accessing the higher realms, the lower I go, the higher I go. There's not a lot of light workers that would have done and gone where I went. But there had to be one of us that did it, because that light pulls up all of those dark secret societies and those dark, they're called bottlenecks. Just as I showed you that section of space, So the Arcturians see that section of space that needs work. They'll send a light worker like myself in. We'll take a body, we'll go in, and we'll be that light version. Many of you are. Many of you have taken on human bodies to be access of light for others, to be access of light to pull up what has been called whistleblowers. You're putting that light into those systems that have been corrupt and abused, so that that darkness can be called. So basically what it is, it's a multiverse alchemy. We're constantly in alchemy. That darkness, that bottleneck has to be pierced with light so that that energy can be broken up. Once that energy is broken up, then the galactic teams and the federations, they all bathe that energy, that city in light, so that now source energy light can get through. And now instead of the entire city getting karma, it's going to be a less karmic experience for God does everything in grace. God doesn't ever want anybody to suffer. We choose to suffer. That's our choice. Because we think we're better than God. We want to test God. We want to force God's hand in whatever silly, ridiculous ways. Again, very, very wounded. We're teaching a higher vibrational understanding of who we are, what we exist within, and what exists within us. The complexities that we exist within I can go in 100 million different tangents, because that's my gift as a conduit. Everything has purpose. Everything has meaning. The densities that are on our planet are there for a reason, for those of us that have light to go in and pierce it with light so that those densities break up. And then that energy gets culled and pulled, and source can then flow in higher refined light. And that is the spiral of evolution that everybody moves on. If your vibrational energies your belief systems, your perspectives are low, you're going to be on a lower rung of the spiral. And that's okay. That's where you're at. You don't have to stay there. It's up to you to clear away the densities. If you're not clearing away your densities, you're not taking ownership of your 51% karma, then and it's very easy to see. And if you're doing your ascension path work, you can know what you're working on. You know what wounds are coming up. It might be jealousy. It might be envy. It might be, claiming your voice. It might be honoring compassion. Whatever it is that's in your soul record for you to work on, that is equally in part, as we've talked about in my classes, to what gets activated in your DNA and your multidimensional fields. Also, too, it's synergistically, as we just said earlier, synergistically to what gets manifested and altered in the brain functioning. 5D brain is not going to operate in the same way a 3D brain is. The 3D brain is entrained to have certain patterns of thought. That's why those of us that are conduits, we can go into any pattern of energy and we can read the pattern of that energy. If it's a very dense energy, I can read that energy and the patterns of it. I can predict what will happen because it's there. The energy is there. It's only running that pattern. It's like a record that only goes on that skip. Right? So anything is readable, and we're certain of us, all of us have the potential to, again, influence the environment with light. How do you get light? By connection and relationship, by honoring your truth, by knowing who you are, recreating that sense of self with spirit, recreating that sense of importance and that sense of value. You state your value system. You have your compass with God, no other. No other has your story. No other has your destiny. And those, again, that try and read it and do all those things that we said, again, they're the catalyst for you to move forward and reclaim your light and reclaim your power. All of those things, they are, again, in very low vibrational wounding. Unfortunately, there's just people that do that. So channeled videos. So again, the symptoms, your ascension symptoms going into this new bedding, because remember that new rung is going to activate your chakras, your DNA, and multidimensionally. What needs to go, and again, it's your higher self. You don't have to figure this out. Your higher self is, and your teams. Remember, you and God, the marriage with you and God, and your teams support that relationship, that partnership. You're always married with God, whether you believe it or not. You just are. Even if you're an atheist, you're still married with God. You're just choosing in that moment to not see it, to not believe it. You are married with God, and then your teams and your angels and your guides are all supporting that relationship. If, again, as I said, if you choose not to honor universal laws, if you choose not to heed spirit, your guides and your ancestors will step back and you will not be protected. That relationship with God will not be supported. And God, if it's done on year after year and year after year, and you've refused to do right, you've refused to make right, you've refused to do what God is showing you, God will be there, but that relationship won't be supported. So again, you won't have any alchemy. You have to work and earn your spiritual ranking. And your spiritual ranking is your relationship with spirit. It has nothing to do with religion. Nothing to do with the Bible. If I give this to yourselves and see this for yourself. See this as a fun thing, an excitement thing to embrace change, because this is a part of your initiation. Can you see letting go of everything that you've been taught, told, and shown as what you know to be true about your relationship with Source? Can you release the Bible if all you do is go to the Bible and hide behind the Bible? Can you release the Bible and know that God loves you even more, and you're going to explore more things in releasing that Bible? Can you know that? And if you start to go into fear, clear that fear out. Accept it. I accept that fear. Wow, I really held a lot of fear. I was hiding behind that Bible. If you have fear about releasing that Bible, that means that you have an attachment to something that is keeping you stuck. This is why you will see those that are moving forward in their higher vibrational ascension are those that are chosen by God, that have gone through the detachments of what everybody is continuing to hide behind and keep as their section of confinement and limitation and discrimination. Because if you are fully with Source and you are aligned with Source and you're always married with Source, you don't need anything. You're always in alignment with Source. Breath is Source. Life is Source. So we want to get to that stage and that phase of higher vibrational learning. Part of the symptoms of ascension, and just know anybody on the line, as I said earlier, everybody that is putting derogatory comments, anybody that is degrading in any way, everybody's IP addresses are being watched and they are being tracked by authorities, because God and all the ancestors and all the heavens and even those that are in physicality are now protecting my path forward to help humanity. And there are people and there are officials that won't take bribes, that won't be in secret societies, that are helping me create absolute justice so that I get to have my voice, so that ignorant people don't come on and bully and attack me. And so there you go. So authorities, there you go. You got one of your IP addresses there. So some of the ascension symptoms, your ears are ringing, because that means the higher chakras are going to be activated. Your galactic third ear, if you will, just sits about here, and it goes out about 2 feet. And it usually, you can feel it ringing and vibrating at the back of your head. That's when you know there's a lot of adjustments and a lot of alchemy that's going on in the higher chakras. And that is, again, through the heart activation. Your heart activation affects a lot of the higher chakras moving up. So if along you're clearing your heart chakra, how you do that is by self-love and self-care and giving yourself compassion and forgiveness. That's the path work. That's the alchemy. So the more that you're working on your heart chakra, you can automatically clear the higher chakras, and you're just clearing those energies of densities and projections and those that, bring hate to the world. You can transmute and navigate around those. So just know that. The ringing of the ears, so celebrate that. Celebrate the ringing of the ears as part of your activation to be higher vibrational intention. Also, prophecy, you're going to see a lot of prophecies that will unfold. That's a part of the alignment to 5D. Prophecies, as you've seen a lot of the predictions on my channel, those will be coming forward and being shown, taught, and told, so that people can, again, look at their beliefs, look at where they're sitting, and then create a connection or relationship with spirit or not. If you choose not to create a relationship with spirit, then again you'll be shifted out. That's just the mechanics. And then remembrance of your oneness with spirit in your cosmic galactic energies. So again, your DNA is usually the first activation that occurs, and it clears the chakras going up. And then it's up to you, as we say in our ascension pathwork, you become higher vibrationally activated, and you create your gifts, your skills, your talents in a 5D experience when you have your 3 E's. When you're exploring, you're expressing, and you're experiencing yourself as a new version of you. That's higher vibrational entrainment. And that higher vibrational entrainment is always going to be abstract. It's always going to be creative, and it's always going to be aligned with your sacred child. What is most exciting for you? What is most desiring for you to explore and manifest? That is the sacred child. And that is allowing you to be higher vibrational in these new creative flowing ways to, again, see yourself as all forms, see yourself as all gender, see yourself as all aspects of the celestial and alien and cosmic galactic families. That is introducing yourself into galactic oneness, and you're the one that's doing the work. You're the one that's saying, Source, I want my connection with you. Source, I want my beauty with you. Source, I want my youthfulness with you. Source, I want my repair of my cells. So anything that you're doing throughout the day, that's your reparations, if you will. Source wants that reconnection with you. Source wants that relationship relationship with you. And the more that you do so, you feel those reverberations in your omnipresent. So go look up Greg Braden's videos about the consciousness. Cryon also has lots of great videos about the omnipresent, the bedding of the consciousness. And that is the aliveness that source is, bringing light. And it activates with your body, with your chakras, and then clearing away any of the dense thought patterns. As you get to the 5D gates, just know, I talked about it in a couple of my videos and in my classes, the 5D access and the changes and the alterations, that the modifications that go on in the brain, the prefrontal cortex and the corpus callosum, there are activations and enhancements that are done in the brain to kind of bypass old 3D thought patterns. Because remember, as your 3D, how we used to think and how we used to navigate in our reality is not going to be how we do it in 5D. It's going to be all intuitively based and aligned with the higher self. Because you're a multi-vibrational being, you have multi-dimensional sensory systems, and that's how you navigate in and around what feels good, what doesn't feel good. So from here on out, again, it's about integration. Anything before you, how does it feel? Does it feel enlightening? Does it feel happy? Does it feel good for me? Is it serving me? Is it nourishing me? All of those are ways that you're redesigning who you are, what your standards are, and setting boundaries, as you just saw me do, setting boundaries for those social platforms that you're on, work environments, and even family environments. I had to really let go of a lot of people, so-called family and friends. I didn't even know some of these people. They were connected to my ex, that thought they were entitled to me and thought they were entitled to who I was and who I was becoming. And God's continually lifting me. And now all of these people that had spent 10 years abusing me and 10 years targeting me with spells and death work, now they want to come back and be a part of God's blessings. And so that's why God will move you out. You know, God will move you out before you do receive, so that your blessings are meant for those that are doing the work. Those are the ones that ask for the connection with source, not those that slide in at the last minute and say, hey, remember me, I'm your friend. And it doesn't matter if they're family or not. You have that standard to say, there was zero nourishment, zero texting, zero concern when I was left for dead. So no, you're not going to come back. There's no open door. There's no invite. So set those standards, especially for Divine Feminine. This is why me being lifted in the community, me being lifted and supported is so important, because Divine Feminine are tragically discriminated every day. How we have to move about and navigate in the world is putting in 100 times more work and effort. We have to put in a lot more energy and time, because we're naturally intuitive, emotional beings. We're automatically born as transmuters. We're automatically born as alchemists. We're automatically born as all of these beings that were coming and doing the hard work, never getting paid for it, never getting credit for it. And even when we do have a professional platform and we've done the work, I've written 3 books, I put out 700 videos, I'm the one doing the work, I'm the one doing the downloads of spirit, and yet these people in these AI generated sex covens were getting the money and partying off them while I sat homeless. So that, and then I had to, you know, not only heal myself, not only rebuild myself, not only redesign myself, and still healing from the PTSD and the trauma that these people caused, the human testing and the attacks, and the destroying of my family, the destroying of my timelines. All of those things delayed my life 8 years. I could have been already living my best life, and I was held back about 8 years just because of these targetings and these attacks. Again, the only reason why I'm here is because of source, because of what I teach. And the amount of the abuse were all those that said they knew me or used my name as clout and falsified my ID and falsified whatever they could and exploit me in whatever way they could while I was left for dead. And that was their intention. Their intention was to spell cast me and confuse me, so much so, just like Wendy Williams. You know, I mean, there's so many people out there that have not made it, really. That, you know, committed suicide and, you know, so-called suicide. And all of those things are just ways that the secret sect, slow dagger effects of these corrupted, Masonic, warped societies attack those innocent ones that are here to be truth and to live truth and offer humanity higher vibrational ways of living. So God sees everything. There's nothing that God misses. Everything that unfolds is a story for every human being to look at and do their ascension path work. Will you be on the earth that is unified and source creator, and new earth where it is unity consciousness? Will you work through the delusions, the discriminations, and the separations you have about divine feminine, divine masculine, gender, and all of the discriminations that are on our planet right now? Can you see a divine feminine being lifted to be a global teacher, healer, and a leader? Work on the woundings, work on the triggers. Why is it that throughout, if we just take my one discrimination case, why was it that the divine masculine was taken verbatim? Their word was taken when all they spoke was lies. And me being a teacher and a healer and a leader, or an energy healer, if you will, or psychic, I was laughed at. Because I didn't fit in the conformity of a role, or because I didn't have even though I've had 30 years of traditional 3D conformity jobs, I've been, assistant manager at banks and clothing store retail managers, and I've had businesses, and I've worked in the government of the ombudsman. That was one of my roles. I worked for the public trustee's office. So I understand when people get taken advantage of human rights, and family members start to act like hawks and savages when they come in to take over somebody's affairs and inheritances when they have no right. They're just greedy, selfish people that, have zero morals and ethics or integrity. They're not aligned with in any way with spirit. And again, that's familial karma. They're giving karma to their children by behaving and living in that way. Plus, they're never going to walk into a body of light. That's just your soul has to do the work to level up. If your soul is not doing the work, you will not go into a light timeline. Nobody can take my destiny because they can't get there. Somebody that's operating in such a low vibrational entity savaged body, and there's entities feeding from the low vibrational bodies, and their minds are all over the place because they have no idea who they are, and they're conjuring, and their spell work is now backfiring. They could never hold my title. That the spiritual ranking that is seen behind the veil, nothing transcends that. That is what you have earned through all timelines, all universes, every time that you took a role for source that nobody else wanted. I hold a very high ranking. I've done things that no other lightworker wanted to do. And I did it, and I transmuted it. And I bring teachings that no other person on this planet brings. I know that. That's my self-knowing. That's my self-design. And I'm here to teach people that. That is a very profound gift that nothing, no company, no amount of money can give you. That's why they tried to hide me for so long. That's why they tried to kill me for so many years. And I will sue every single one of them. Government human testing, whatever was done, whatever my name sits on, whatever document, whatever file, it has to be returned to me. My lawyer's name is in all of my videos. It's in all of my YouTube. jnelson@speclaw.ca. You have to go through her. You cannot pop up. You cannot phone me. I won't have those conversations. It has to go through my lawyer. And that's right through God. God will not allow anybody to touch me anymore. Because I've been told, as everybody has been told for the last couple of years, I am the last messenger to teach the community, for the collective, for all life, how to be operating in a higher vibrational Christ consciousness Metatronic alignment of who you are as infinite light, as eternal light, for all beings, for all aspects, for all universes, if you so choose. And it's free will. But I will no longer be abused and targeted. So anybody that comes on here to target me and abuse me and send power and send their little magic and their spells at me, you're all going to be all returned. Your magic gets returned immediately. Your karma gets returned immediately. And I get to receive. There's nobody that has the writing of my life but me and God. And I teach that, how to reclaim that. Because there's a lot of people that have been abused and they have been sold to trafficking systems and they don't even know it. The indoor cameras and other things that are exploited on the dark web now is all, there's been so many people that have been affected and nobody's speaking up for these people. There's so much corruption and so much trafficking and so much exploitation, human rights discriminations all over the place. But everybody that has been working on their light, there are those of the communities that do wake up every day and they have their highest intention to help humanity. There are humanitarians out there. They're not shown in the leadership at all, unfortunately. They're not shown in those that have the money and the finances, because there's the ones that have been, financing the elite groups to this secret society groups to attack light workers. All of that's being brought down, and the blocks will no longer be there for light workers. And then we will be matched with humanitarians within the collective that will help us move forward with God's divine plan of our social, spiritual, cosmic, galactic, multiverse, new earth. And that means we're going to be needing higher vibrational, higher intelligence systems that align directly with the heavens. As I talked about in my video, I think it was the federations, galactic federations called governance, 5D governance, I think it's called. And I talked about the alignment of how our systems will be set up in alignment with Source Creator. Those of us that are setting up cities of light, and how we set up those cities of light. And that's transitioning your 3D jobs and roles. And when you get in touch with living as a soul, you're becoming soul fulfilled. You start transitioning your 3D to a 5D experience. You start offering yourself as a creative gift, the creative craft, the vessel of God, the source of God. You start being abundant as God, and that there's nothing richer, right? When you're operating as the soul version of you, that's pure abundance, because you're operating from all your energies of you. You're not the human that's sitting in an office. You're the soul of you, and you've got many gifts and talents. I've got many gifts and talents I haven't even tapped into yet. I love teaching about Source Creator. I love teaching about how activations occur, about your multidimensional soul blueprints, about how easy and how fluid it can be for you to transition pain and healing and darkness and shadow, releasing really toxic family and moving out of toxic work environments, releasing yourself from enslaved trafficking experiences. And trafficking can be anything. You know, you can be trafficked for your work, and I was harvested for my work and for my energy and for all of my videos and my platforms. That was being a traffic. They didn't sexually use my body. They harvested my energy. They harvested my work, and they grouped in gangs of 50. Up to 50 people were involved in discriminating against me. And there were people that were paid. There were people that were organized. It was a very systematic approach to deconstruct me on every level. Their intention was to deconstruct and to take everything of me away. Their intention was to rip me apart. And so that is why we've come forward with very profound teachings. Understand energy and universal laws. There's no back and forth or wavering, or there's no fence anymore. There's instant karma. Nobody deserves to be abused as much as I was. And sitting in nothing and homelessness while these people continually take money every day, and all they care about is not having the money that's mine. They don't concern themselves with all of the pain they cause me, the damage they cause me, because they're being eaten by entities and demons. They don't have that connection with spirit to have that conscience. They have no idea the trauma that I had to survive and heal from. Still, when I'm going through my healing process, I still have PTSD, and I still stutter, and I still have to move my way through those energies because it was so traumatic. Because as a seer, as a high functioning, I'm a psychic. I see everything. Like the ways that I was, they did a vibrational rape on me one day, and they conjured that to intend that. And I felt that. It was disgusting. And someone that's done 15 years of being celibate, devoting my body, because I had also early childhood traumas that I had to heal from. So I was very, very happy about me returning back to source and renewing my body, healing my body. And I was healing beyond those sexual abuses. And then to go through 8 and 10 years of targeting, human testing, where they would intend me to be gang raped, intend my energy to be gang raped, so that they could harvest off my energy. And I experienced that. How did I deserve that? I was just sitting trying to be a healer. But they don't care. They only want the energy. They only want what they want. They don't care about how much trauma they caused you. They don't care that they delayed your life 8 years. They don't care that they've isolated you from your kids. They don't care that they've taken everything from you and there's nothing to show. Anybody that knows me, I spend a lot of my time alone in nature, but the few friends that I do have, I'm the most generous person anybody would ever meet. I constantly give, and that's been a part of my soul blueprint, is to be very discerning about who I give to and what I give to. Now, spirit of my ancestors, because now the people that have been targeting me, they don't have spiritual protection. They're now protecting me. They're now protecting anything and anything that will not enter my field, that is not even close to. If they have any ounce of nefarious energy to come towards me, they will not be allowed near me. That's how intent God and the creators, and there's even people on planet Earth now finally that are waking up to see the value of who I am and what I bring. And I'm not going to be treated like a token or a game token or a handling piece of meat that somebody thinks they own me, to be bidden, be bought back and forth. The idea that somebody pays money to say that they had ownership of me, and they paid me to a secret cult or a sect so that they could use me as an energy battery source and then practice on me to do spell work and voodoo and jar work and death spells. This is what was done. It was a game. It was a systematic bidding system, because there's those that know my ranking in the spiritual realm. They were going to do whatever it took to get my, they think, again, they're so misguided. They don't know what they're doing. There's nothing. It's just so ridiculous. But the money still traded hands, even though it would have never eventuated. God would never have allowed it. There was still the money that traded hands. Spirit showed me $1.3 million was used to destroy me. Money's being paid back and forth, bribes being paid, false claims being done, people paid to stalk me, people paid to spellcast me, people paid to target me. And I sat in homelessness and nothing. And I still come forward to teach every day about how to be your unification with Source, how to transmute those energies, how to reclaim your power so that you're not affected by low vibrational entities and secret societies like that want to kill you because they want your title or your energy or your spiritual clout. They have no idea how the spiritual realm works. They're so disconnected, as my last video said. You cannot spellcast or target or sacrifice and get spiritual ranking. You belong to Satan, you belong to Lucifer, and that will be a lesson, and you will create your own self-demise because that's how your soul chose to learn that lesson of giving your power away. To have spiritual ranking, you move through the essence of unification of oneness in connection and relationship of your higher self, all of your chakras, as we've just showed you in this video. Your higher integration of who you are as a cosmic, celestial, galactic being of all that is. Your unification of your oneness. Again, and we're transcending everything that we've learned in our 3D experiences because we're all beings from all planets. So again, your ears will be ringing. You're going to be feeling like you're lost, but that just means that you need to be grounded. Because again, remember, when any aspect of life goes into a new environment, it's being affected by the energy in the environment. So because we're on a new 5D platform, a new 5D vibration, your body and your energy field and how you sense information is going to be a little bit, as they showed me yesterday, and I said in my video, Spirit called it like the gravity, the center of gravity has been shifted. When you reach into this new realm of what I'm talking about, those that have been on the path for a while. So you reach this new experience through which you're now a new version of you, and it will feel as if your center of gravity is off. That's why the practices and the tips that we teach are so important. You're going to have to allow yourself to be grounded, and grounded is just through purposeful, full body, intentional breath. So full body breath, breathing in and breathing out, and then grounding yourself with intention, feeling a beautiful energetic cord that goes right through your chakras and down to the core of Gaia. And that, so when you're feeling kind of lightheaded and kind of spacey, again, refine your environment, refine your social circles, refine what you're listening to, refine what you're feeding yourself as you're entering these new gates, because you don't need any more confusion in your sensual environment, right? Your sensual environment includes how you interpret energy, how you read energy. Because my gifts have just been heightened, I've felt, like I said yesterday in my video, claustrophobic because my energy sensing is so much more heightened. So I have to be out in really open space to be able to allow the bigger energy to flow and to cleanse out the lower vibrating energies that are like succubus. They just want to enclose in on you and kind of eat you alive kind of thing. That's how it feels. That's how all that 8 years felt for me. That's why I'm going to be a very important voice for the high-functioning children. I'll be a high-functioning teacher for those children and for the crystalline children and indigo children and hybrids. Because they're showing me in our next class, we're going to talk about the various programs that will be implemented because of the higher vibrational codes of celestial, galactic, alien integrations that we're doing. We're bringing those codes and we're bringing it down through each and every one of us. The ecosystem in the biosphere holds a lot of genius energy and information. So any of the world leaders that want to have sessions with me, we need to have a discussion about the intelligence of our biosphere so we can eradicate and absolutely stop the chemtrails and redirect those monies into healing. They would do much farther for their soul's growth and their soul's evolution, and they would play a great factor for 5D leadership if they chose to do those things and show that they were real true leaders of the environment and true leaders of the people when they show care for the people and care for the land. And so those codes of those higher vibrational celestial and alien codes will allow us to offer in, remember, as we said, light begets light, the vibration begets vibration. As your energy vibration of this new 5D takes place, your multidimensional bodies and systems, the systems within systems, the God within God, is going to interact with it differently. That substrate is changed. That bedding has changed. It's more refined. It's more pure. That substrate means that it's reverberating at a faster oscillation, a faster pace, a refined pace, and that's going to call in those equal celestial opportunities. That's why in that visualization that we took you through, visualize yourself as various aspects of spiritual, celestial, alien beings, galactic beings. Be okay with the healing of the divine feminine, divine masculine energies, and harmonize it. And we said yesterday in our video that nobody else talks about, that I talked about yesterday, I shared in my video, that every person on the planet has in your soul's blueprint, it's a part of a gift. It's part of your teams, if you will. The gift that God and Source Creator has given to you is that each person comes with a very high consciousness being of divine masculine focus, and there's a being for divine feminine focus. And these beings have been with you throughout many of the universes that you traverse, because beings like myself, we traverse into multiverses, because we have to go to the darkest places to navigate and know, heal. I'm a transmutational specialist. So God can take me anywhere because that's my contract with God. I'm married to God. I will go anywhere with God. I'll always know that I'll be brought back to life. I'll always know that I'll be nourished. I'll always know that I'll have eternal life. I always know that I have my spiritual ranking. It's not easy. That's why no other light worker will do what I do, because nobody would want what I do. You know, it's challenging work. It's challenging work. I can see things, threads. I can see things from higher vibrations, middle vibrations. I can see and sense and feel it on a multidimensional level, and I've got to sift through that soup. I've got to sift through that sandwich. And then I have to do enough of that processing and integration so that I can teach it in a way that makes sense for the human collective that wants to tap into being higher vibrational light beings, to be a higher vibrational healed being, to know that the next time they come to an incarnation of a human, they're going to come into a 5D light body. You can't come into a 5D light version of Earth if you haven't worked through any of your 51% karma. There will be those, say if they transition and they're like 49% cleared their karma, God will obviously, in their souls and their karma board, because all of those are discussed at the very highest levels when you choose a body, when you choose to incarnate again. We said at the very beginning, and I'm going to do a different video on this because it's so expansive, it's very complex. I'll do it in my classes for those people that pay for me, that pay for the classes, that pay for the information and wisdoms. A soul can have whatever version of experience it wants. It has that ability. The soul can do whatever it wants. If the soul wants to have an incarnate body on a fifth dimensional Earth, it will do that. It has to go through the spiritual checkpoints, if you will, to see, will it be able to accommodate and acclimatize itself at a fifth dimensional experience? You have to have worked through the understanding of all of the minutia from 3 to 5D. I'm a master. I can talk about the minutia of all of those experiences, of all of those dimensions, of all of those densities, of all of the darknesses, of all of the deities. I can talk about it. I've done the sandwich minutia. I've digested it. I've processed it. I've integrated it. I've pathworked it. That's how come I am the ranking that I am. I have expansive information that nobody else carries, and I can teach it. That's why I had to go through what I went through, because I can teach on any different aspect. Again, not a lot of people would want to do that because they want to work in those higher realms and they only want to teach that higher realm information. To get to that higher realm, though, you have to work on that 51%. How do you get through the 51%? You can't get anywhere up here if you're not doing the here. You can't have a sandwich if you're not doing the A, B's, and C's, then the lettuce and the mayonnaise and the meat and the pickles and the tomatoes. You want that minutia. You want to be a master sandwich maker and eater and digester. You want to sense what's in the sandwich, or not. You can choose not to. You won't be a master, but that's your choice too, and that's equally valid. It's also a God experience. I teach masters. I teach creative geniuses, because you're an evolutionary soul and you're going to keep growing and expanding. That's God's promise for you. That is eternal life. You can change your body. You can change your belief systems. You can change your diseases or your non-diseases. You can change your youthing. You can change anything when your marriage with Source. And your teams and your spirit guides support that marriage. It's eternal. It never leaves you. You are always married with Source. Doesn't matter if you're an atheist or you want to learn Baha'i, you want to learn Buddhism, it doesn't matter. You're still married with Source. What you choose to have that as your support system for your connection and relationship of that union never goes away. It's called the God seed cell. That God seed cell is within every human. That God seed cell is what lights up with light when God says, and your team say, your higher self says, they've cleared away some density, let's bring some light to that God seed cell. That God seed cell goes from the bottom of your spine and it goes all the way up your spine, and that's when the activations multidimensionally start to occur. And again, it happens in a synergistic, multidimensional way based on, again, your temperament, your pacing, what you've worked on, where your next coding of your DNA is at, where are you ready to be activated, what have you worked on, what's coming next. That codon carries a lot of information similar to that disc in your root chakra. Every time you go through an ascension cycle, a full ascension cycle, you're ready for new codes, new activations that we've just hit on. That's why we're getting different ascension symptoms. That will make your entire multidimensional bodies, because your now root chakra is oscillating at a more refined light. It's not carrying those densities anymore. It's flowing more source light. You have to practice flowing source light, so that at some point in 5D, you won't need the food sustenance, if you will. Most beings in 5 and 6D, they only live off like fruit juices and very similar fruit types of elixirs. And they're mostly breatharian because they're fully 100% fluid of working with source light as their nourishment of their bodies, because it's all Metatronic light. That's all you need. That's full true power. And again, you never ever have to, and again, you wouldn't be spiritually ranked if you're harming people. Spiritually ranked people do not harm people. Spiritually ranked people do not do spell work on people. I would not be where I am if I did spell work and sacrifices on people or black magic. Light workers don't do black magic. Well, there are false light workers. The ones that were copying me did black magic and they said they were light workers. Again, discern. You can read the energy intention behind everything. That's why spirit and the guides and those that do the Akash, that are trained in the Akash, the very few that are out there that use the Akash for healing are those high vibrational beings that I refer on my channel, that I am also one. They are of the channeling of the higher vibrational beings. We channel the systems of light. We channel God. We channel the 9th dimensional, 12th dimensional beings. So any information that we're given to give the client on the Akash is approved. We won't give information that's not meant to be given, because everybody in spirit knows the intentions of that person sitting before you. It doesn't matter if they give a fake name. They're not working within integrity. They're not going to get an integrous reading. Energy equals energy, remember? Energy equals energy. Nobody can go into anybody's Akash with poor intentions and get a good intention out of it. The equations don't match. Understand creational reality. Do the math. Work it out. Nobody teaches what I teach. It's very basic. It's very simple. Honor the laws of the universe. And karma is hitting everybody until everybody wakes up. Karma will keep hitting. It doesn't matter how elite they are. It doesn't matter their titles. It doesn't matter how many files they've destroyed and evidences they've canceled. Everybody will get karma, and they're going to keep getting karma in whatever way God chooses. Again, with the higher self, as we said, only God and the higher self will choose based on whatever their intentions were. If their intentions were to dominate, if their intentions were to steal, if their intentions were to destroy, if their intentions were to death spell, those are the higher self, and only God distribute that karma. And it might be, as we said earlier, it might be a Gaia integrative karmic experience, as we said in Dubai. Because Gaia was also affected in all of that secret society conjuring of how many nights they got together, how many necromancy ceremonies they did on graveyards, and there was disrespect to all of those people that were in the ground. All of those experiences are added up and nothing is missed. Every tick on the checklist, every tick on that balancing of the scale of your heart and soul, every phase of ascension, everybody goes through their karmic board life review. And this is what I teach. This is why I know what I know. I have access to all sides. I have access to all realms. If you are doing necromancy and disrespect to spirit, you have an imbalance in your solar experience of being godly. You will not have spiritual ranking. Because you're disrespecting spirit. You're using the energy, the skills, and the energy of Gaia in a disrespectful way, including those people that are in the ground, that want their spaces respected. All energy is constantly living. Whether they're in the ground or not, they're still living consciousness. There's still an aspect of Gaia. There's still an aspect of source. Everything is always omnipresent. If you're conjuring to get their energies, to get their whatever it is you're getting, you're wanting to take their power, you're wanting to take this and take that, all of those are imbalanced energies. It's not a balanced equation because all you're doing is taking. Then you absolutely bet that source, God, your higher self, and Gaia are all going to be in agreement of whatever karma will be delivered to that secret society. Whether it's one of their buildings self-imploding, when they're doing one of their rituals, it doesn't matter what occurs. It's up to God and Gaia. And make no mistake, it's going to happen. One by one, by one by one. I'm predicting it, it's in the field. And as God said yesterday, this will be a part of the Ascension on a totally different topic. Part of the Ascension symptoms too is the ears ringing because you're activating higher chakras, you're activating your galactic and intergalactic readings. The remembering who you are in the multidimensional bodies as you come in. I'm going to do a separate video on that. I'm running out of battery, so we'll talk about that in our next video, is the remembrance of intergalactic celestial cosmic bodies. And it feels really, really cool. I had a couple of experiences like that, and I could feel, so what I feel with source is like there's a bubble around me that's all source, mother, father, God. And mother, father, God helped me integrate and harmonize my divine feminine masculine energies. As what I said before, every person on earth comes here with a divine masculine special species and a divine feminine specialty species. These species are high vibrational, very, very high vibrational based on where you're at in your ascension path. If you're just starting your 51% karma, or if you've been on the path for a while, as you align higher in your vibration, as you're clearing out more of your density, your guides become higher in their refinement because they have to. They have to always cascade up as you're cascading up. That is the Jacob's ladder. These beings, I've seen my divine masculine species, and it's a very cool experience. This species came to me. I was looking out my window one day, and in my garden was a white, transparent, see-through dragon. Kind of looked like a dragon. It was like a big worm, and it was see-through, and it had like white crystalline energy, like this. It was like this. Like white crystalline energy around its shape. You know, it kind of looked like an amphibious being. It looked like amphibious, like a worm dragon shape, and it was see-through, and it had these really, really big eyes, and it was like just sitting, levitating above the ground, and it was looking at me, and I was just like in awe. I was like, oh my God. I thought at the time it was like a Melchizedekan dragon, because I had read about, in my studies, I had read about the Melchizedekian dragons, and I was used to be an order of the Melchizedekan order, and so that's what immediately what I felt. But this being had been with me through the Melchizedek, whatever that word is, it's hard to say. They had been with me in that because this being and these species, each of these species come with you, and you can ask for them in your healing sessions. These are very, very high vibrational species, and they're beings that they work with you on that specific, like mine was divine masculine energy. That's the being that I saw. And it works with me every new phase of ascension. I'll need different adjustments and different enhancements in my multidimensional bodies, in my multidimensional systems, especially for me, because I'm a hybrid and I'm a conduit and my coding is very unique. That being is a very, very high vibrational being, and it's working with me every step of the way to help me adjust and enhance and take and move things. And it works very closely with my guides and Mother, Father, God based on my soul's blueprint. So again, remember, everything is integrative. Everything is all one. Your soul blueprints are growing contract with you in spirit source, but you do have these very high species beings, and you can ask to see them and work with them. And they're really, really super, super cool. And so that was an amazing experience. And that was another high vibrational integration. And so those sharing those stories and expressing those stories are all a part of your integration and bringing those cosmic stories in Earth. When we open up into 5D, we will all be very surprised. As we said again, pretend that the body that you're taking on is just because you're moving around and navigating in Earth, but the form that you're most comfortable in might be a Pleiadian form. So in your 5D transition and integration, you're going to adjust yourself and transition yourself, which is another ascension symptom in 5D, is you will have 100% alchemy with your body form. And you'll be able to change your body form. You'll be able to integrate your body form into whatever is most fluid for you. Like the Arcturians had said many, many eons ago, their form, they could take on whatever form they want because they have 100% access of all physics, of all chemistry, of all science, because they're 100% mutable with God, with Source Creator. that means they can change their form. Their form that they were most comfortable in was about 3 foot size, and they're kind of a triangular looking being. And they don't have the same features that we do because they're not humanoid. So, but they can take on a humanoid experience if they wanted to. So again, species from planets they take on different species forms based on what they're most comfortable in, based on the highest, because they usually take on the form that is most comfortable so that they can flow source spirit through them. So for a shorter being, they found their bodies to acclimatize to a very quick oscillating source experience. They wanted their bodies shorter. Whereas the tall beings, there's also called tall white beings, those tall white beings appreciate the length. And that's why when we get to know 5D diversity, infinite species in the multiverse, that spirit, that source, spirit is all about evolution. God is evolution. So we want to experience ourselves in all different forms, in all different ways, and then integrate those experiences. Beings like myself that are multiversal, that are hybrid, we can come with many multiverse, diverse experiences and codes and activations and stories so that you can also go away and start remembering. It's called your cosmic remembrance, your source remembrance. What do you remember? Because these memories, they're showing me right now that this video today will activate, they're showing me 7 of you, will activate 7 of you in the near future, in the next 2 weeks. They will activate you on remembrances of dreams you've had, of experiences you've had, of visions you've had, of first contact or being on other planets. So these videos and my teachings help activate you in your Christ consciousness. That is the remembrance of all that you are as source. So you're going to have those remembrances come online, if you will. So now that it's an active part of your day, it's an active part of your field, and you become more and more familiar with cosmic, galactic, intergalactic alien energy. Because it does it. It's like you're in a new environment now, and the energies and the codes that are all around you that are slowly showing themselves to you, just as God was slowly showing me to the collective. It was purposeful that I was hidden for so long. It was purposeful that people played in trying to veil me for so long. God played along with that. Because the collective wouldn't have been ready to hear me as a divine feminine coming up with stories of source creator that was the same stories that crucified Jesus. God was never going to have that happen for me. So God and the universe and the collectives are learning, as we're all learning, to release discrimination, to release our ideals and our notions, our remembrances and our ponderings and our exaltation to thrive with spirit, with source creator, to be God. So another thing that God showed me that this statement was right channeled from God. This is what God said. So God said, we are striving in joy only, oh yeah, so we are striving in joy only. The rest is the manifestation of that. So that's right from God. We strive only in joy. Whatever the unfolding is the manifestation of that joy. So that is where we're trying to measure up to be constantly in a state of joy. What brings you that joy? It's always that return within. Again, your connection relationship with you as your higher self, your connection relationship with you as the exploration, experience, and expression of who you are as source, of who you are as love, of who you are as balanced in your divine feminine masculine energies. And then when you're striving in that joy of being utterly balanced and in fluid, and you're aligning with the first 2 laws, that is absolute alignment with God. And everything is unfolding in, divine, miraculous experiences. You're in alignment with God. That's a statement right from God. It's very simple. That's how you know light. Light is very simple. There's no mincing words. It's not confusing. It's very simple. Truth, clarity, light, know yourself, be joy. And in that direction, in that intention, in that focus of being joy, there are going to be those things that come up to trigger you, because that's the sandwich. You have to go through the minutia of the sandwich. You want to know that sandwich. You want to be able to pull that sandwich apart. You want to know what's going on inside that sandwich. Was it Dijon today, or was it a mustard today? Was it a certain type of lettuce? Was it a different type of lettuce? Was there no lettuce at all? Everything you want to learn and be the master of who you are. So you want to go through those various navigations of challenge. You're meant to be challenged because you want to be a master. You're going to be teaching people down the road how you got through your challenges. That is your exploration, expression of source. On your deathbed, and when you're going through your karmic review, if you will, that's all the soul cares about. Did you work on the lessons of preserving your energy? Did you work on the lessons of being patient? Did you work on the lessons of being compassionate? Did you work on the lessons of honoring your divine feminine masculine energies when you were triggered? Did you honor in acceptance, allowance, and acknowledgement? That's what the soul cares about. The soul doesn't care about how many people did you sacrifice to get that last title. That is 0 spiritual ranking. That is dark Epstein-like earth. because it's only feeding ego. It's only feeding the wounds. And when you feed the wounds, you're always in debt, because again, it's that negative side of you're always in debt. When you sacrifice, you're always in debt. You will always have that lesson of Lucifer and Satan, because that's a debt. It's like the bank machine, and you're putting the card in, it's constant debt, 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 debt. So understanding creational realities and laws, and what is spiritual power, what is spiritual growth? It is going through the minutia of returning to God. It is returning to that connection, that relationship. You're always married with God, and you have infinite spiritual teams and spiritual consciousnesses and spiritual entities that are here to assist you in the harmonization of ever unfolding, ever heightening bandwidths of energy, dimensions of energy. Dimension is energy of information and vibration. Every dimension you enter into is a new vibration of energy and information. Your body now has to process and integrate energy and information. Now that you have energy and information processing differently, how are you going to express, process, and gift it something which you call is your 3D shift to a 5D shift? You're now a vocation of God, a vocation of spirit, of source, of your soul. You're now a fluid exploration of soul. You're a vessel of soul. You're constantly in movement. You're constantly in alchemy. That is a high vibrational being. You're constantly aligned with your higher self. What's my part in this transaction? And the teachers, the healers, and the readers will all be tested in this new phase. Are you aligning with the right use of free will? If anybody's coming to you asking for information on other people, are you saying no? Like, what is your truth and what is your contract with God, with Source? There is, as I said yesterday, there is nobody that I would cross those boundaries of Source. That's why you're tested. You have to go through those tests. That's why the Akasha is only given access to those that are prepared and trained. Because you have to absolutely say no to every single person that comes before you that is nefarious. And there are those that don't care about anything but taking and getting and being a part of the elite society targeting band. And they will be shifted out to the Epstein Earth to play more games of Epstein, like taking and corrupting and trafficking. Because that's how they look at energy. That's how they look at life. They don't look at life sacredly. It's still a God perspective. It's still valid. But God will no longer have them available to keep blocking the light workers. Because we're aligning with the laws, we get to be on that earth that is aligning with the laws. We want to be leveled up with those that are aligning with the laws. We don't want to be kept being held back and sacrificed. No, you're not sacrificing me anymore. No, you're wasting the essence of who I am as a divine being of high vibrational energy. Like, send another light worker to work with those that want to keep, working in misogynistic attacks. So remember that creation is always expanding. As I showed you that high vibrational energy of God showing me that deep space experience, that was a high vibrational integration. Just as I showed you that high vibrational consciousness of divine feminine masculine, nobody's ever talked about on this planet. I'm the first one to talk about that. That's only taught through me. You have access to those beings to help you heal those aspects, and they're there through your higher self. They only are guided through the higher self and your soul, or God. They take they know because they're so high vibrational. They take the direction from your higher self, source, and God. And again, you're working with teams of beings as your allness, your DNA, your fields. I'll give you an example. When I was younger, like the scar that I have, my heart chakra had to be adjusted because my heart chakra was too open, and I was getting traumatized because my heart chakra was so open. So those experiences, your teams are there to assist you in every multidimensional adjustment that needs to be adjusted. And those species, those specialty species I told you, the divine feminine, divine masculine, they're also a part of that. Because at every phase of your ascension, and if you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, you know that this phase of ascension, you're going to be working on this, you're going to be working on that, you're going to work on clearing away this, you're going to be your highest version of this. You're working on that minutia of those things. There is no shortcut. Those aspects of you that you're working on, you're allowing the all of you to come forward and play as the all of you, offer new light of you, and that's all really God cares about. Are you offering the 3 E's? So that your 4th E's is always a given, because God is all about evolution. It's always very gracious. But those adjustments have to be made, and you have teams of people. If you're not abiding by universal laws, you will not have those teams of people. Again, going back to the same caveats. If you're not abiding by the laws, and if you don't care about unity consciousness, you will not have anything that I'm talking about. And you will be shifted out. You will manifest your own manifestation out. You will manifest your own manifestation to be where you need to be, so that you can learn about regrouping yourself back to source. Everybody comes with teams and guides of beings by source. Source offers it to you unconditionally for the love of you are, because you belong to all dimensions, all realms, all planets, and you are a cascading aspect. You cascade up as they cascade light down to you. You are all connected. This is why we can let go of a lot of the discriminations. As the higher aspects of you, you're all bodies, you're all forms, you've been all religions, you've been all aspects. So we can let go of all of the judgments and the titles and labels we give ourselves. It doesn't matter. What matters is, are you aligning with source in your highest excitement every day? Again, we strive to be in joy. Anything that manifests is a given. So just strive for being joyful. Strive for being in your richest alignment of beauty. To be rich in beauty is to be fully aligned in spirit. And don't let anything surrender to a compromise. There is no compromise. Your spiritual alignment with source should never be compromised. That's just I'm just giving you that as a tip. Do what you want because you're a free will being. If you want to avoid, again, as we said yesterday, those that are in the 5D gates, you are not going to be accumulating karma unless you deliberately, and you wouldn't because you've worked so hard to get to 5D. You understand, all of my clients that have been with me forever, you've been doing the work, you understand and you know. Once you're in the 5D gates, you're not going to be accumulating karma. Your karma is done. That's why we've said for so many of our videos, this timeline is very, very important for humanity as a species, for your evolution, for your species, for your legacy, for your species, for your lineage, for your species, for all the dimensions and all the planets you belong to. If we do not choose to go forward in light in the unification of who we are with source, and you choose to not do that and abuse it and deny it, then there won't be a body that you can come back into in a light body. This is the last lifetime in a humanoid form in this planet that you can align with ascension into eternal life. I am the last messenger. There will be other beings born, of course, that will be on New Earth, that will bring forward higher vibrational teachings because they've done the 51 and they're going to incarnate into a light body in New Earth. Remember, there's infinite versions of New Earth. You have to clear your 51% karma for New Earth. And again, as we said earlier, if someone transitions at 49%, God will absolutely allow the beings absolutely to get into 51. That's up to God. I don't get into that. I don't play God on that, right? But I'm just saying, because there's infinite number of experiences, right? That's God. That's the evolution of God. God wants the diversity of all that is. And it's only God and the karma board and that soul that make that decision. Nobody ever has access to any of those decisions. And anybody that they think they do, anybody that talks like they do, they're absolutely out of their mind and they're delusional and run the other way because they're devoted and loyal to Satan and to Lucifer. And they'll have those lessons of self-implosion because that's the lesson of Lucifer and Satan. That is not spiritual ranking. Those are lessons to gain spiritual ranking. They're very valuable lessons. And if they want to alter course, they can. If they want to paradigm shift, they can. If they want to come for healing of pure intention, God will only allow them to come to me through pure intention if they choose to alter course and alter paradigms. Otherwise, they're going to be shown to other light workers. So we talk about that, Spirit? So your consciousness is growing cosmically, galactically. Oh yeah, another thing, because I got to go. One more thing that we're going to see in this ascension shifting, and because this doesn't have to do with anything that we've talked about, only in one way. There will be a slight increase in suicide because of the soul's decision of where it sits vibrationally, where, again, because of these, it all is made at a decision of the higher soul level and source God only. To have a being go into another incarnation in another version, in another form, that is just the renewal of source. Death is not really what we think it is. And it's up to that source and soul. The only way that has to do what I talked about is there are those secret societies and they're getting deep, deep karma and they will never come into a light timeline that have been targeting people for themselves to target people through human testing to commit suicide. And there are the secret societies and human testing programs and agendas that are on our planet that do impale and target through secret societies, through witches, through covens, through warlocks, to attack certain people. And their intention is to make them crazy, to drive them crazy, to make them seem unstable, so that they eventuate into the slow dagger of suicide. It's called the slow dagger. And many of them have been removed and returned back to source because of it. And source gives them, again, that checks and balances of the soul itself, because spirit sees everything that goes on. Spirit sees the intention. Spirit sees the energy. Spirit sees the scales of all balances of all life, because that's source. that being will then be reincarnated into the highest version of it can, because you have to be able to process that level of light of what you're going into. Your soul is constantly culminating to that next level. Your soul is constantly a culmination of that next level. If you never get out of that 51% and all you do is stay in taking, raping, stealing, and sacrificing, you will never see a light timeline, because you're not working through the soul's lesson of all of those 7 chakras that need to be heated. This is why Spirit has brought me forward in such urgency and importance. To understand our chakras, why we are here, divine feminine, divine masculine, releasing the limitations of all social limitations and discriminations that we have earned and we have chosen to keep within ourselves as being limited and discriminating against one another. We have to face this, and it has to be alchemized. Or not. Everybody gets to choose. And if you choose not to, you are limiting yourself into the next incarnation of what you are able to manifest yourself into. You cannot go into a light timeline if you've never worked through any of the soul's lessons that it needs. For the next timeline that you come into, you need to understand the minutia of that 51%. You need to be able to put the sandwich together. You need to know how to dissect the sandwich. You need to know how to digest the sandwich. You need to know how to interpret the sandwich. You need to know how to process the sandwich. You need to know how to integrate the sandwich. You can never go to a 5D if you have not done the work. You will not have spiritual ranking. You will not be spiritually allowed. You will stay in low vibrational realms, and you will keep manifesting your incarnations into sick bodies, into sick minds, and you will manifest that for your children because that's all you've conjured. It is very important that everybody in a secret society and low vibrational cults and covens, it's absolutely necessary that you get this. And you sit down in a good conscience and you say, am I willing to sacrifice my family and my lineage to an eternal dark experience and not manifest myself into light and reunion with Source? Because you cannot get into a light vibration of eternal light if you're not working through that karma. And targeting people and abusing the laws, that's gaining karma. That's building more karma. You're not respecting anything that is spirit. You're not respecting anything that is spiritual ranking. And you cannot move into and incarnate into a higher light body. You cannot, and you won't. There is elegant systems of dynamic interplay, and there's reasons. I can go to any system and I can acclimatize into a body and I can teach on anything that I've learned through the lowest of the realms on the multiverse. I'm only talking this triad on this multiverse, and I can teach in whatever capacity. That's why God knows my ranking. The universe knows my ranking. The spiritual realm knows my ranking, because I can go anywhere and I can teach anything up to my highest level of consciousness that I have earned. That's my spiritual ranking. And it's priceless. That is my compass. And that's what I offer to all of you. What is your compass? What do you sell out for? What has been that outer focus that you can return in? What is that highest commandmentship of you, your connection and your marriage with God, Source Creator, that has nothing to do with anything that you were taught, told, or shown? And how can you harmonize it into a minutia of all that you are? And get to know the sandwich. Get to know the makeup of everything, because that's your mastery. Set boundaries, set standards of what you're willing to put up with and what you're willing to say goodbye to, because your environment manifests you as you manifest it. The consciousness is all that is. It's listening to you. It's honoring you. It's showing you. The universe converges around you. You are the center of your universe. You can either look at it from a low vibrational ego perspective and feed the ego, which is your title, your money, your reputation. That's ego. It has a pattern. Darkness has a pattern, because they haven't worked through the integration of those ego wounds. They can choose to alter their paradigm. Everybody in a secret society, everybody in a secret group, they can choose to alter their paradigm. They can choose to alter course right now. If they're purity of heart, and God will send those to all of the healers that are trained to assist these people in healing the low vibrational ego wounding. And then you are on that flowing of allowing Source to live through you, and you get to pull all of your gifts and skills from all timelines, all dimensions, all bodies, all forms, and you're working as a soul-infused being for eternal life. Then the next timeline you get to move into is whatever timeline you want. Once you're 5D, you can go wherever you want, because you've honored the rules of the universe. The Pleiades aren't going to allow you into their planet system. They're not going to allow you into the biosphere if all you do is sacrifice and kill and harm and put spell work on people. They will not allow you in their biosphere. Do you get that? Do we get that? right? It's like going into a grocery store and opening up all the bags of bread and just eating it and leaving it there half open and eaten and filled. And you're not going to be allowed in the grocery store. There are rules of etiquette. There are codes of conduct. You either get the laws of the universe or you don't. You either want to be a part of eternal life or you don't. It's very simple. And it's not filled with dogmatic rhetoric and bullshit. No, you're either going to be a part of unifying all that you are as source, because you're one with source whether you want to believe it or not. You're one with source. You either start working on the 51% minutia and getting to know the sandwich of all that is, the juice of all that is, the source of all that is, the understanding of your eternal life and how to manifest anything from anything. That source, that's true power. You don't need anything outside of you. You don't need to hurt, harm, or kill, or damage, or steal. No, you're just doing it with you and source. And it's a manifestation of all that is good, all that is joy. All we do is strive for joy. Because you know you don't need to hurt anybody or anything to have ultimate ecstasy. And we've taught that in our videos. The reason why people do low vibrational things is because they're feeding low vibrational wounding. The ego needs it to be fed because it doesn't know how to get its life force from source. Everything is source. You just have to redirect and intend in new ways and train yourself in new ways. That's what I teach. This is the lifetime, dear lighted ones, and I am here as a messenger of Spirit, Source, Creator, Mother, Father, God, and the systems of light. Do you want to be a part of First Contact? Do you want to be a part of the unification of all that is life and spirit and source and 5D systems where we're integrating everything that is bountiful, benevolent, and abundant and healing for all of humanity, all life systems, all life on earth is balanced and equal in one? Do you want to be a part of that earth? Do you want to be a part of the earth where forgiveness and compassion is all? Do you want to be a part of the earth where there's new systems, where we care about the planet, we care about the air, and we care about the water? We understand that Gaia is a consciousness, Gaia is a goddess. Do we want to understand that divine feminine are equally as powerful and loving and honoring and as leadership divine beings? Do we want to help divine masculine heal beyond their woundings? Do you want to be a part of the earth where all galactic beings, celestial, alien, are all a part of the cosmic soup of one? Because when you transition into spirit, you understand that all races, all religions, all forms, all colors, all sexual preferences, all genders, whatever you label and title, it all becomes one. And you can wait till your deathbed, or you can choose now. Do you choose to be a part of unity consciousness? Any other channeler speaks of the same thing. It's easily targeted because I'm divine feminine, and I'm a very generous, sweet, and loving person, and I'm an easy target. And I've come with that knowing, but I will fulfill my destiny. That's my promise with God, because God will take me anywhere, anyhow, in any body that I need. Because God loves me. Source loves me, and I'm protected by trillions. I can go to an earth where I'm supported, and people come to me from all over the planet to be healed. People come to me from all over the planet to know their Akash, to know God, to be activated in God, to transition themselves from a religion and have it all encompassing to be a beautiful story and to be more and to be better and to be greater. That's the vibration of the Christ. You're transcending all that was and you're being new. You're being cosmic, you're galactic, you're celestial. And the land becomes different, the soil becomes different, your food becomes different. Your body becomes different, you're transitioning into light. Every breath, every breath, every breath. Do you want to be a part of unity consciousness where your cells are unified, where your organs are unified, where your health and your brain is all unified into higher vibrational thought patterns? Or do you want to be on the earth where the species will be directly ending with the demise of its intentions, which is sacrifice, spell work, taking, titles, dominance, and control? There is no species evolution in those energies. That is just the equation of the universe. Draw it out. And this is where we sit right now, divine humanity. Unity consciousness, where you're sitting and you're facing the triggers and the wounds, and you will alchemize it, and you will love it, and you will honor it, and you will accept it. And you will do the ascension pathwork however you feel created to do so. And you'll seek the inner higher guidance of your guides and the higher self-alignment, your connection and your relationship with all that is life, so that everything before you is a striving for joy, is a thriving for joy, and you become the creative genius that is ever you. I love you, India. India is so very sacred. There's so many very powerful light workers in India to transcend so much poverty. India is a very sacred land and it's been forgotten. Each and every one of you come with gifts and skills of Source Creator of God. You're meant to tell the stories of your species. What is your story? Love everything and everyone before you. It is God, it is Source. Transcend discrimination and limitations in every way and all ways. You're loved. I'm a divine feminine, I'm a hybrid. I'm a conduit and I'm a crystal. My voice matters. And I'm here to offer teachings and healings. We have Ascension classes and webinars, and we thank you so much for joining us today. And Mother, Father, love you. Please go back and do that alignment that we showed you earlier. Do it as often as you like. You'll always get exactly what you need, when you need, how you need it. You'll get multi-dimensional activations. Again, they said that there were 7 of you that will have the activations of that slow remembrance of your various celestial alien forms and bodies and lifetimes, because it's all now. Remember, everything is now. There's no past. Everything is harmonizing into a now. All timelines are harmonizing into a now, higher now. That's why this new bedding that we're offering right now is a higher vibration, and you're going to feel a bit off center. Okay, so we'll go back to the quick little thing about suicide. There are those 2 aspects of suicide, one where it's been interfered with by others, and again, God is the only one, along with their own guides, their own souls, to be a part of whatever karma unfolds for those that intend suicide and harm to another. And then there is the suicide that an individual takes in its own soul's development. And that is, they've shown me, as a part of this new phase forward, it occurs in every important ascension phase as a planetary body. The planetary collective consciousness is operating at a median of energy. Any one that cannot take itself to that next phase of energy, there will be those that will choose suicide because it's their natural choice of free will. And again, when you're abiding by your laws, and that's why you have to align with your higher self, right use of free will, non-interference, what is my part in this transaction? Always reaching out in compassion, always reaching out to help and honor others that are going through tough times. Show and help others for community outreach. There is a lot of anxiety and suicide helplines now. There didn't used to be way back when. There wasn't anything like that when I was moving through my ascension. So just know that all of those experiences are ways that we can help reach out and create that unity consciousness and really help people acclimatize. But just know, Source said that it is a natural part of evolution and progression, because the souls just couldn't carry themselves into that next dimension of light. And they will choose in any way. It could be a car accident, could be whatever way. It's up to that soul and Source. That's why you always understand the higher order and the elegance that God will always design with that soul. And every soul has its unique design with God. And that's why you never, ever, ever want to interfere. And that's why spiritual ranking is spiritual ranking, because you understand the elegance and the order of all that is, and the unplaying and the unfolding. And again, release everything and let God deal with karma with those groups and societies and even elite groups that do such demented human targeting and human agendas, MK Ultras, and all of those agendas. Everyone in those agendas will get karma. Life is very sacred. And so again, that's your compass. And you know what you know. Your knowingness is everything. As Jesus said, know thyself. My knowing myself, there's no wavering. There's no compromising. There's no counter offers. There's no nothing. I won't sell out. I will never sell out. God is my compass, period. I can go anywhere and I can be anything and I can teach anything. That's my compass. I don't sell that for anything. So just know that, okay? That's just a byproduct, but we will see it in various ways, because remember, everybody experiences their unfolding in the way that they need to see it for the lessons they need. That person might have seemed to have a suicide to you, but to other people, it might have been an accident or a car accident or something else. Everybody's level of consciousness and how they see and perceive their world is based on their level of consciousness. Just as we said, a light ship landing before you, before 100 people, every one of those people will have a different experience of that light ship. Some might not even have seen the light ship if their consciousness was that low. So again, every level of consciousness is unique to that being, to that experience. So it's all, again, God knows what God's doing. All you're here for is the focus of you, is the focus of your alignment, right use of free will, and knowing that you're a good ambassador to all life. Yeah, I'm here to enhance life. I'm here to uplift life. I'm here to enhance the light vibration of the consciousness of the planet. I'm here to be my fullest expression so I can help others be their fullest expression. I'm here to know that I will speak against wrongs. I will speak against abuses. I will help change the system. That's my contract with God. I choose to keep alchemizing in light. And, never give up. Keep going, because everything is possible. God is everything. So I'll leave you with that, dear lighted ones. Donations are really lovely and wonderful. I would love donations. Our links are below. Anybody that wants a session, 90 minutes for $233 US, 4 to 44, 4 sessions at 45 minutes is $533 US. So know that you are loved. You are dearly, dearly loved. You have lots of teams around you. Purity of intent to heal and to honor your oneness with all creation. We love you so very much. Anybody that wants to book a session or an appointment with me, just get in touch. And my PayPal links are below. We love you, dear lighted ones. Practice your cosmicness.